like free money? Download Upside.
I'm saving the cash I earn from using Upside to help pay for a vacation later this year.
Download the free Upside app now to earn cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code EXIT25 to get an extra 25 cents per gallon on your first tank. You can cash out anytime right to your bank, PayPal, or a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code EXIT25 for a 25 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code EXIT25 for a 25 cents per gallon bonus.
Listen every afternoon for The Drive with Tim Donnelly.
Bryce Young is a different person. He's not even just a different quarterback right now. At the beginning of the year, it looked like he had negative 1,000 in the confidence meter. Now, if you watch the go-ahead touchdown that he threw to Adam Thielen against the Bucs, not only does he throw the ball with confidence, his hands are going up to celebrate before Thielen makes the catch. The confidence is crazy.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 3 to 6 on 99.9 The Fan.
Drive-through car washes are quick, but a mobile detailer gets to the nitty-gritty. Autobell Car Wash is the sweet spot between both. We quickly clean your car from the inside out to save you time. Get the app at autobell.com.
Welcome to the North Carolina Education Lottery Winners Club Aromatherapy Room. Our first scent is the essence of this month's scratch-offs.
I'm getting notes of anticipation mingled with, cold hard cash.
Anyone else?
Oh, is that tilapia?
Sorry, that's my lunch. New Diamond 10X and Lotteria are here. The Winners Club awaits. Must be 18 to play. Approximate overall odds of winning range from 1 in 3.99 to 4.23. Problem gambling helpline 877-718-5543.
Get the Honda of your dreams during Happy Honda Days with a sporty new Civic, Accord, HR-V, or CR-V. For a limited time, well-qualified buyers can get a 2.9% APR on a 2025 Honda Accord or CR-V, a 4.9% APR on a 2025 Civic, and a 3.9% APR on a 2025 HR-V.
Brought to you by your local Carolina Honda dealers. Contact your local Carolina Honda dealer today.
See dealer for financing details. Exclude Civic Si and Type R.
If you love to travel, Capital One has a rewards credit card that's perfect for you. With Venture X, earn unlimited double miles on everything you buy and turn everyday purchases into extraordinary trips. Plus, receive premium travel benefits like access to over 1,300 airport lounges where you just check in and chill out. Open up a world of possibilities with Capital One. What's in your wallet?
Terms apply. Lounge access is subject to change. See CapitalOne.com for details.
Hey everyone, it's Ted from Consumer Cellular, the guy in the orange sweater, and this is your wake-up call. If you're paying too much for wireless service, you don't have to keep having that nightmare. Consumer Cellular has the same fast, reliable coverage as the leading carriers for less. And for a limited time, new customers receive their second month free when they sign up and use promo code SECONDFREE by January 26th. So why keep spending more than you have to? Seriously, wake up and call 1-888-FREEDOM or visit consumercellular.com.
Taxes, fees, and other third-party charges will apply. See website for additional details.
Adam Golden Studio with my friend Sammy Hanna, owner-operator of the Aluminum Company of North Carolina. Are you feeling the spirit of the holiday, sir?
We love the holidays, Adam, and we are feeling the spirit. It's been a great year. Just want to thank everybody out there, our listeners, our homeowners, our employees, everyone involved that makes the Aluminum Company great. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Or do you get the sense that people ask for like green or red siding during this time of the year?
We have not gotten a request for green or red siding, but that is something we can always try and accommodate. We're here to help our homeowners with any concern they want to do.
You can do green or red metal roofing.
We can. Yes, we can.
Do they ever stripe it like green and then red and then green and then red?
We have not had that request yet, Adam, but we're here to accommodate any homeowner request.
Sometimes you just really feel the spirit of the holiday.
And we can accommodate.
Happy holidays to you. Thank you very much for all you do for us, for sponsoring my hockey podcast.
Happy holidays.
Appreciate that. AluminumCompany.com.
This hour of the Triangle Sports Leader is powered by Ritchie Law Firm, Injury Lawyers. Ritchie Law is on top of it. Go to RitchieLaw.com.
That's RitchieLaw.com. WCMC-FM HD1 Holly Springs.
You're listening to The Adam Gold Show on the North Carolina Sports Network.
2nd and 9 for the Ducks. Fake to Noah Whittington. Now Gabriel on the run, throwing wide open in the middle. Caught by Oregon. Tez Johnson. He caught it at the 25. Comes left to the numbers. Accelerates down the left seam and into the end zone. 48 yards. Touchdown. Oregon. They extend the lead. The Oregon Ducks, in their first year in the Big Ten, are Big Ten football
afternoon. I am Adam Gold. How is everybody today? Graham Hill on the ones and twos today because it's a Wednesday and Victoria hates Wednesdays. So, we have no gifts for you here, Graham, still.
Yep, still no stockings, still no candy canes, still no gingerbread. I guess I'm just getting cold this year. Are
you a gingerbread guy?
I'm a big gingerbread guy.
Have you ever built a gingerbread house?
No, I have not. I don't think I am architecturally gifted enough to, is that even a word? To try and build
gifted?
Yes,
gifted
house.
Is a word. What are you talking about?
Architecturally.
Architectural. Right.
Good start. How are we doing, everybody?
If pronounced correctly, it is.
It's the Adam Gold Show. Graham Hill filling in for Victoria. I brought the rain with me. I'm sorry.
It's snowing. It's not rain. Look at this.
It's snowing in the studio
right here.
The weather outside is frightening.
Man, it is gross and getting grosser. I am in no way hoping that my son's soccer club cancels training today. No way am I hoping for that.
That wouldn't be ideal.
Trying to push it into existence. But we'll be there as long as they have it. Anyway, so, there's just, I thought we would get something, but no. We'll work on it for next week. It'll be my last Wednesday before the holiday. Well, the holiday's on a Wednesday, right?
I actually will not be here next week. Victoria and I are flipping.
Wait, I don't even understand now.
My
brain is hurt.
Victoria will be here next Wednesday.
Right.
I will not be here next Wednesday. I have a wedding to attend.
On a Wednesday?
That's cheaper.
Okay.
So, a little programming note. And management, for listening, I am revealing this right now. Management knows. Management knows. I don't know if you knew.
Like at 9 a.m.?
No, the wedding's Tuesday night, actually.
I got married my wife and I got married Tuesday morning, August 16th, 2005 at 10 a.m.
See, there you go. You did it right. You did it on a Tuesday.
We went to the courthouse and got married there right after they were done going through the, I guess, trial hearing for people who got who were arrested for passing bad checks.
Ooh.
After that docket was cleared, my wife and I stepped up and got married.
That's a tough act to follow, but you did it right. You got married on Tuesday. You saved lots of money, and you didn't have a fall wedding. Didn't interfere with football season.
You're right. It was a summer, and I came and did the show, and it's a long time ago, different place, different company, and the show acted as the reception.
That's awesome.
So all of the guests were actually guests at my wedding.
Did your lovely bride come and join you in studio?
She did not.
In her gown
No, she
today?
went
Okay.
and cut. She went to the salon and did hair the rest of the day. Man, do we have a ton of stuff to get to today? And we have stuff hanging over from yesterday that I didn't get to that we are going to discuss today. Do we have breaking news other than what you and I discussed about an hour ago?
Well, apparently there is an emergency board now taking place at UNC for the hiring of Bill Belichick. This is according to Brian Murphy. He tweeted out.
So the university met the demands.
Yes, sources with knowledge tells me UNC Board of Trustees to meet today. Necessary steps to conclude football hiring process from Brian Murphy at Murph's Turf on X.
WRAL TV5 sports investigative reporter. Here's the thing. Brian is good people, and I believe, if I'm not mistaken, I don't really know the background, but I believe a UNC guy.
He is. He is a UNC grad.
Very plugged in. So here's the deal. Man, we got a lot of stuff to talk about. So it's been framed as though the university offered the job to Bill Belichick.
Mm-hmm.
And I understand why we're framing that. What I think is proper here is that everything we know about coaching searches in college should be flipped the other way. And I have no idea if this is going to happen or not. But everything we know about coaching searches in college is going to be flipped. So it's been framed that the university offered the job to Bill Belichick. I have been telling people that I believe that Bill Belichick has presented a plan to the University of North Carolina, and if they accept the plan, he will agree to be their head coach. He is essentially trying to hire himself at UNC under his parameters. And it is then up to the University of North Carolina to decide whether or not they want the job. They want him to have the job. So I will do this for you if you meet all of my demands. But that's it. So I actually think this whole thing is flipped. And I do wonder, does that impact Chip Patterson? Oh, look at this. We have a Bill Belichick graphic already?
Yes, that's just new to me.
We have a Bill Belichick graphic already. We can't get your name on a gift here, Graham.
Well, I don't think I meet the standard that Bill Belichick does as far as getting my name advertised.
I think you're way more important than this.
Maybe one day. I mean, I also date a 24-year-old. So does that count as a prerequisite to get my name on the backdrop?
I am not.
Let me stop. I'm sorry.
I am not going to get personal here. I'm not going to say anything, Graham. I'm sure you do date 24-year-olds.
My apologies.
Anyway, look, if Bill Belichick is, if they have come to an agreement, if North Carolina is going to go for the 400-page manifesto that we have heard about,
right,
then more power to him. I'm here for it. I think it will be great for the university because that name, when it comes to football coaching, is the best name. Bill Belichick brings football credibility. What it means for college, we have no clue what it's going to look like going forward. It might be exactly what Bill is interested in. And by the way, speaking of college head coaches, 2:30 today, Dowell Loggains, the new coach at App State, we will talk with him about taking over at App. He's an NFL guy.
That's a great conversation, by the way.
He spent the last 4. See, I'm telling people that he's going to join us at 2:30.
Sorry.
Yeah, I know. We taped it at 11. That's fine. It's okay.
I just pulled the curtain back, and you saw my legs in the coffin sticking out. Apologies, folks.
I sawed Graham in half is what I did. But anyway, he's been in the college game for like 4 years. He's primarily a pro guy. And I know we should ask him, Graham, if there are similarities now between the pro and the college game. Anyway, Dowell Loggains will present that conversation to you at about 2:30 today. There's a lot to do. We'll talk about Bill Belichick because I do want to get to it. So let's get started. All right. Duke wasted no time. They replaced Malik Murphy in the transfer portal today. Murphy jumped into the portal yesterday, right? Might have been like a day and a half ago. Well, Darian Mensah from Tulane, who will have 3 more years of eligibility, he jumped out in Durham, North Carolina. It's a California kid, 2,700 yards passing, 22 touchdowns, 6 interceptions. Green Wave went 9-4 this year. They lost to Kansas State and Oklahoma. They also lost to Memphis, and they lost in the conference championship game to Army. He's not a runner, but he is mobile, according to ESPN.com. This is what it said under the story when he was entering the portal. Now, this might have been time-sensitive, like at the time he entered the portal, but it ain't like he's been there for a long time because the portal just opened. They called him the top player in the portal, and we'll talk to Chip Patterson as long as this thing doesn't blow up in front of us. I asked him specifically, is Mensah an upgrade over Malik Murphy? And he went, Mensah, an upgrade. So I know everybody got mad when Malik Murphy entered the portal. Here's what I would tell every single one of you. Don't get mad. Just don't. A, it's not worth your time. And B, these are the rules, and it's okay. It is okay for the athletes to get whatever they can, whether it's playing time, whether it's increased exposure, whether it's money. Everybody makes decisions for different reasons. I would say that money is probably the worst reason to make a decision, but it's not irrelevant. So if Murphy ends up, and I have no idea where he's going to go, no clue. But if Murphy ended up at, well, let's just pull a name out of the air. Georgia. Why wouldn't you want to do that? No offense to Duke. You can get exposure at Duke. I believe Darian Mensah will get exposure at Duke. Duke's put guys in the NFL at that position. So you go where you go where you're comfortable. You go where the situation is best for you and your development or your bank account, whatever it is. I have zero problem. And I would hope people wouldn't get mad if a player left your favorite school to go somewhere else. It does make all of this challenging, and I have heard coaches say, a matter of fact, I heard Lane Kiffin say yesterday, and we're going to hear something from Lane Kiffin coming up in a little bit, that the portal shouldn't open until after the bowl season. I mean, yeah, I get it. I wish it wouldn't. I don't know that you'd have fewer players opt out. Like if Malik Murphy was going to transfer and he was going to go into the portal because he felt like there was another opportunity out there for him, he would more than likely opt out of the bowl game. I guess. So it's all of the timing. It just shows you how rudderless the sport of college football is, right? Oh, I want to read this one quick story, and then I want to get to Bill Belichick here in a second, because this to me is utterly brilliant, and I want to get the story. There is a lawmaker in Ohio, I believe a state senator. Want to get his state representative Josh Williams, who is from Sylvania Township. No idea where in the state of Ohio that is. It doesn't really matter. But State Rep Josh Williams, who is a Sylvania Township Republican, introduced, Graham, the OHIO, I think it's written this way specifically, Sportsmanship Act on Tuesday.
Oh, that doesn't sound good.
No, it's great. And what this is that it would make it a felony to plant a flag in the center of Ohio Stadium of the Horseshoe in Columbus.
Interesting. Is it also a crime to not refer to it as the Ohio State University?
To not refer to it, that's a misdemeanor.
That's the misdemeanor.
It's a misdemeanor to not refer to it as the Ohio State University.
That can get expunged.
It is a felony to plant the flag. So, look, nothing will happen with this, right? We all agree that nothing will happen with this. But this illustrates a larger point that that has baffled me. It gives credence to why Charlie Baker, the president of the NCAA, and the 4 conference commissioners and others have spent so much time, so much money, so much mental capital on K Street in Washington trying to get senators and congressmen to pass a law to protect colleges from the athletes. Because they know that there are idiots who are willing to act like idiots in the name of stupid things like this. They know it. Because, unfortunately, so many of our elected officials are dumb. Just dumb. Gosh, I saw that story and I'm like, we have to at least bring it up. All right, now let's get back to while we're on Bill Belichick watch. Because it is still, for many people, a discussion topic. Could Bill do this? Could he, Bill has a plan. Now, by the way, it doesn't get him to however many wins he needs to get to Don Shula. Right? These wouldn't count in the college game. And again, I just want people to understand, I think if you say, first of all, we don't know we don't know what's going to happen here. And we really don't know how it's going to work. How different is it going to be than college has been in the last 5 years? Or are we headed into an era that has nothing at all to do with like 2 years ago? Like is it going to be that dramatically different a landscape once House versus the NCAA takes effect? When the universities are given $20 million roughly, you don't have to take that much. You can. I think $22 million is the cap. If each school who participates in this, what do they do with that $22 million? Well, how can they utilize that money plus NIL, which will still be a part of it and be separate? So what is that going to do? Is it going to completely eliminate all of the elements that we know about college football, college sports? So we really don't know. It's a great unknown. But all of these things illustrate just how rudderless the sport is. Anyway, Bill Belichick this is not about Bill. This is about Bill. It's from Jeff Saturday. And he is a UNC guy. I mean, Jeff Saturday could be on the coaching staff.
I thought that at one point.
I heard you say that. And I'm not going to lie. I went, what the heck is Graham doing? But it makes more sense now. No, I'm serious. Because I heard you say it a few days ago. I was listening to Next Up as I was driving in, and I heard you say it to Paul. And I thought, well, that's silly. And now it's not silly. I apologize for thinking that.
No worries. To me, with a program like that and Carolina's past hiring processes has been, let's look in the Carolina family. Somebody who's been
but you should never do that. But I understand why you were going there. North Carolina should not be looking in the North Carolina family for a football coach. Not for a football. It's okay if you do it for field hockey. It's okay if you do it for women's soccer.
For basketball.
It's okay if you do it for basketball. Don't do it for football. By gosh, don't do it for football. All right, here's Jeff Saturday on Bill Belichick and UNC.
I am fired up that we have people the caliber of Bill Belichick interested in our job, and it is real. And I think from my perspective, the thing that Bill could do, he is a process-driven maniac. He would understand the difference between a coaching staff and a recruiting NIL staff. And I think that part would be interesting to see those two run parallel. Because to your point, he doesn't got to sit in 18-year-old living rooms anymore, right? He's going to have other people who do. That's not the case for every college football coach. So if he's focused on the fundamentals of football and teaching guys how to get to the NFL, and he has another group, it'll be an interesting test case for college.
It would be. All right, more from Jeff Saturday. Would he be good at his alma mater?
I think he's a super process-driven guy, and he would figure out whatever he needs to figure out as far as that stuff goes. I think he will get the right people around him. He'll get guys who understand how to do the business side of college football, and he'll have guys that understand how to coach football. And I think that's two completely different groups at this point in where college football is. I know if someone said, hey, you're going to go be a head coach of a college, I knew I would have two different portions of my staff, one that handles NIL and recruiting, and then one that handles the coaching.
And that's part of Bill's manifesto. The 400-page manifesto had a recruiting staff that would report to the general manager, and it had a coaching staff that would coach ball. Bill his plan, and he said this on the McAfee show, was to simply treat this like an NFL training program. And what have I been saying for a long, long time? The college game does not prepare players for the NFL. It doesn't. It's not supposed to. It's not its job. I mean, what's your job? You're the football coach. Your job's to win. It doesn't matter how. Your job is to win. So your job is not to train your left tackle to play in the National Football League. Your job is to win football games by any means necessary within the rules of the sport. We don't want to make it seem like it's prison rules. All right. Here is this is kind of an aside, but it's about Belichick. Jerry Jones, who goes on every Tuesday with radio station The Fan in Dallas, often to defend himself as the general manager, was asked about Jerry Jones. Keep in mind, as you're listening to this, Mike McCarthy, Jerry Jones' head coach, his contract ends at the end of this season. So McCarthy would either need to be extended or, I guess he could go on coaching without a contract. Actually, you can't in the NFL. You can't do that in any sport, any professional, major professional sport. But it's possible that Jerry Jones is looking for a head coach when the season is over, even though he has intimated that maybe McCarthy could come back. Here's Jerry Jones on The Fan in Dallas about Bill Belichick.
Well, Bill, rightfully so. In my time as in college, that limited time, but more importantly, the years I've spent in the NFL, I don't know that I've seen a coach available, if you will, with his stature. Yeah. He's got a lot of gas left in his tank, a lot. He's on the game. He's savvy. He knows the personnel all over the league. There's no learning curve there. And he just technically is sure a thing, sound a thing that you're going to be coached up as you could have.
Interesting.
Here's the thing. Bill is a great coach. Problem is he his last few years at UNC.
You're trying to speak that into existence too, it sounds like.
His last few years in New England were bad. Why? He didn't have a quarterback.
Yep.
If you don't have a quarterback, the rest of your team better be unbelievable, and it wasn't. He had poor skill position players. Part of the reason why Tom Brady got out and ended up in Tampa was because the Patriots had nobody to throw to. Brady was looking around going, can we dig Julian Edelman up again, please? They had nobody to throw to. Their skill position players were among the worst in the sport. And it was just hard to operate an offense. And maybe also having Matt Patricia as your offensive coordinator wasn't a good idea. All right, real quick before we break, Joe Person from The Athletic is going to join us in a few minutes, and we're going to talk about Bryce Young because the Panthers look like they might have a quarterback, like a legit quarterback. All right, before we do that, very quickly, last night at Lenovo Center at the Big ThinkPad, Carolina Hurricanes played most of the first 40 minutes like they were not interested. The San Jose Sharks were the better team. Carolina played 7 good minutes to start, led 1-0. And then San Jose pretty much controlled the next 33 minutes, and it was 2-1 Sharks entering the third. And even the beginning of the third period wasn't great. And then a little bit of magic. Andrei Svechnikov, Martin Necas make a good defensive play at the blue line. Necas takes the puck, gets it up to Aho. Aho with a great pass to Brent Burns. Easy tap-in goal. All of a sudden, 2-2. And the patrons at the Lenovo Center decided to wake up because that was a lifeless building in the second period. I mentioned this on either Twitter or Blue Sky. I was going back and forth last night. It was the quietest I had heard that building.
I completely agree with you. I was in attendance last night as a patron, and at one point in the second period, there were people discussing the mascots in attendance more than they were the actual game. But that was one of those games, as you said last night coming into it, the Hurricanes 3 of 5 in their last 8, and some of the stuff that you saw out of them just looked like the kind of bad luck, if you want to say it.
Oh, that wasn't bad luck.
A 3 of 5 team.
That was bad play. That was slow. It was poor puck management. It was bad goaltending. It was bad decision-making for the most part in the first 2 periods. From the Brent Burns goal, which was a great play, by Svechnikov, Natchez, Aho, Burns. That play flipped the game. Carolina decided, oh, look what we can do. And the fans are here. We couldn't hear them. Like, the fans do not owe the players anything. The players have to provide fans the adrenaline to get up and cheer and make noise. I've always said that. But from that point on, the Hurricanes dominated the game like the Hurricanes know how to do. The third period was totally one-sided. Carolina didn't get the go-ahead goal until there were less than 3 minutes left, but Jalen Chatfield did score it, and the Hurricanes closed it out 3-2 win. Good win because the third period looked like it was supposed to look. All right, we got to hit a break. When we come back, Joe Person from The Athletic on Bryce Young and maybe the future of the Panthers. Next.
Serving it up hot and fresh every day. Adam Gold on the North Carolina Sports Network.
Keep pounding. Panther Talk. Panthers Playbook. The Paw Print. Follow your Carolina Panthers all season with us.
Shotgun snap, quick throw, near side. Tommy Tremble into the end zone. Front right corner of the end zone. Carolina back on top. The gutsy call pays off.
Your home for complete Carolina Panthers coverage. 99.9 The Fan. The Triangle Sports Leader.
Hey, it's Adam Gold from my friend Dr. Lori Travers at Travers LASIK. I want to paint a little scenario for you here. You wake up Christmas morning, the kids are going nuts, and you're looking around for your glasses. I don't know where I left them. Oh, wait, let me put contact lenses in. Yeah, like the kids are going to wait for you. All right, here's what you do. You do it right now. You go to Dr. Lori Travers at Travers LASIK and do what I did. I went from 2250 to 20/20 vision, 5 minutes per eye, totally painless, went to work the very next day. 0 interest financing for 24 months is available, and you can have perfect vision on Christmas morning, so you don't have to waste time looking for your glasses or putting contact lenses in. All you got to do is go to the website. You can set up your free consultation there, TraversLASIK.com. There is no better place to get LASIK surgery than Dr. Lori Travers and Travers LASIK. 919-510-6830. 919-510-6830. Travers LASIK, see what you've been missing.
Introducing a product that redefines living well.
Luxury.
Designed to satisfy your wildest desires.
Extravagance.
Overflowing with suspense. Dripping with wealth.
Fortune.
The $8 million moneymaker from the North Carolina Education Lottery. With prices that start at $100 and go up to $8 million. Every win's a big win.
Whisper.
Must be 18 to play. Approximate overall odds of winning are 1 in 4.14. Problem gambling helpline 877-718-5543.
Hey guys, this is Marcy Bailey from Bailey's Fine Jewelry, and we know that you want to get your wife or girlfriend something special this Christmas. But sometimes you just don't know what to get. You wonder, what will she like? What will make her feel special? What will make her say, wow? At Bailey's Fine Jewelry, we have experts that are here to help. We specialize in making you look like a hero. You can even send her in to make a wish list that we keep on file to help make your life just a little bit easier. Bailey's has the largest selection of jewelry in North Carolina, including designers like David Yurman, Loggains, Marco Biccigo, and Ippolita, as well as beautifully curated Bailey's collections. And don't fret, because if for some reason she doesn't love your gift, we have a 30-day return policy. Our goal is to be your go-to jeweler for life. Bailey's Fine Jewelry, located in Raleigh's Village District, Crabtree Valley Mall, and Cary's Fenton. Also in Rocky Mount and Greenville. Every woman wants a Bailey box under the tree.
Hey, bud, why the long face? Got laid off again, like the third time since the plague. You should move back in with your parents. What? Well, let's go to Sharky's. Now that's a good idea. Hey, they hiring? No chance they'd hire you, but Sharky's is my favorite spot, and I just love hanging there. Sharky's it is. We can discuss a new job over a cold beer and the best wings ever.
He's right, you know. No one's gonna hire you. Move back in with your parents. Sharky's, quite possibly the best neighborhood bar in the world.
Hey everyone, it's Ted from Consumer Cellular, the guy in the orange sweater, and this is your wake-up call. If you're paying too much for wireless service, you don't have to keep having that nightmare. Consumer Cellular has the same fast, reliable coverage as the leading carriers for less. And for a limited time, new customers receive their second month free when they sign up and use promo code SECONDFREE by January 26th. So why keep spending more than you have to? Seriously, wake up and call 1-888-FREEDOM or visit consumercellular.com.
Taxes, fees, and other third-party charges will apply. See website for additional details.
This is Adam Gold.
I'm definitely, if I had my choice, I'd say I'd go with the real tree. Just the whole thing, it just brings up what Christmas is all about. I kind of enjoy that, but we're no longer doing that.
I am a real tree, and then last year my wife threw a curveball at me and we had an artificial tree, and I didn't like it.
The Adam Gold Show.
It's the Adam Gold Show. Graham Hill on the ones and twos. Fantastic choice for our first rejoin of the day. Love David Byrne and the folks at Talking Heads. Also love this next gentleman. I'll say it. The future, because we don't know, the votes have not been tabulated. North Carolina Sports Writer of the Year, at least my choice, I voted for him. Nominated him and voted for him, Joe Person from The Athletic, who covers the Carolina Panthers. Sir, how you doing?
Well, that's very kind and humbling, and also you probably jinxed me, but that's okay, my friend. Right back at you.
I apologize. I apologize if there is a jinx involved. I hope there's not. But look, you're a past winner. And that already means you have your bona fides. So not to mention you found my tie, or your wife found my tie when I left it wherever, somewhere on the street in Winston-Salem. So for the last 5 weeks, it's been a slow, gradual process. But has Bryce Young made himself the starting quarterback of the Panthers next year?
He has in my mind, and I think he has in the minds of some pretty influential decision makers in that organization. In talking with people, I think they, especially folks, and remember, a lot of their scouts and their current GM Dan Morgan were around when Bryce, when they believed in Bryce.
Yes,
they gave up farm to draft Bryce. And so I think they were always wanting to pump the brakes on this idea that they should punt him immediately and go draft another quarterback or sign Daniel Jones or what have you. And so the guy and the folks that needed the most convincing, which I get, were the folks who weren't here when that decision was made, and that is to say Dave Canales and the entire offensive staff, to include Nate Carroll, Steve's kid, to include Brad Idzik, the offense core, all of them, but especially Canales. And, Canales is still very leery or wary of anointing Bryce the franchise quarterback.
Right.
I get it. Keep a carrot on the stick, whatever your motivation is. But with each week, each passing game, and you see him making these plays that reminiscent of what he did at Alabama, you're thinking, okay, this certainly looks like a guy that deserves another year, and go use that top 5 pick on another position of need, and that's a pretty enviable place for Dan Morgan and Dave Canales to be in.
Joe Person from The Athletic at Joseph Person on Twitter is joining us here on the Adam Gold Show. The thing that, I don't have an emotional dog in the fight not being a fan. I actually don't have an emotional dog in the fight for any team. I have completely weaned myself of NFL-specific fandom. But for me, looking at this from the outside, I'm getting the best of both worlds. One, Bryce Young is definitely improving, definitely looking like he can be a quarterback of the future, and somehow, really through no fault of his own, The team is failing to win these games, so they're not screwing with their own draft position. So right now, I am rooting for them either to get the first pick, which they'd be able to auction to the highest bidder, or get the third pick, figuring that the first two picks are going to be quarterbacks, Shedeur Sanders and Cam Ward, in one order or another, so they can get the guy I believe is the best player in the draft, Travis Hunter.
Yeah, there's no doubt about it. I mean, it really has been a win-win the last few weeks. I mean, they have gone toe-to-toe with the two-time Super Bowl champion Kansas City Chiefs, with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, who've been kind of the NFC South. Whenever you think of this division, they've been the top dog the last few years and look like they are going to be again this year. And then last week in Philly, like I thought, okay, close but no cigar the last 2 weeks. They're going to go to Philly and they're going to lose by 4 touchdowns. I really did. I thought it'd be a 3-score game.
Yeah, I did too.
And and credit to the defense too. I know that's not what you asked me about.
No, it's fine.
But the defense played a lot better and kept Saquon Barkley, mostly in check. I mean, I know he averaged 6 yards a carry, but he didn't get loose for any 70-yard touchdown runs like he did twice against the Rams.
Right.
And so, yeah, your point is a valid one. And with that in mind, Monday night here in Charlotte, I went to the Charlotte Convention Center for the Bronco Nagurski award ceremony because there's some pretty big-time difference makers who were in town in the persons of Penn State edge rusher Abdul Carter and then the Michigan defensive lineman Graham Mason.
Yep.
And guess who else was there? Dan Morgan was there.
Look at that.
Look, that doesn't mean, the Panthers have a table or two at that every year. But it's just that there's no question Dan Morgan knows this team has many needs. And if quarterback is no longer on that list, then how freeing is that for what, and especially the scenario you said, he's already shown Dan Morgan has an ability to sort of collect nothing real high, but he's been kind of quietly filling out the draft board with extra picks. And if he deals a top 3 pick, look out.
Yeah. And again, to me, Travis Hunter fills 2 roles. It fills, top cornerback. If you have Travis Hunter and J.C. Horn, regardless of what season J.C. Horn has had here, we know he's going to have another one. He's under contract for it. If you have those 2 guys at cornerback, you have the bones already of a very good defense. And then, because I've seen him play wide receiver, he's crazy good at that too. Like, now you've just added another piece to your weaponry, and I'm going to go to wide receiver here, and I'm not so worried about Xavier Legette dropping that touchdown pass. It wasn't the easiest catch in the world. Should have been made, but whatever. Again, blessing in disguise. Before the trade deadline, Joe, we talked about could you trade Adam Thielen. Now, and I said this yesterday, and I'm only half kidding, can we extend Adam Thielen? He's got a year left on his contract, and he's going to be, 37 when this contract is up or something like that. But this guy is still very good for what they need him to be.
Yeah, he is. And they like, obviously they like what he's been doing on the football field, which is really more of what we saw from him last year.
Mm-hmm.
If anything, he's getting downfield a little more as Bryce Young gets more comfortable. As you recall, there were a lot of dump-offs for Adam Thielen last year.
Yeah.
Where you might have normally seen Bryce Young go into the tight end for like a little 4-yard gain. That was Adam Thielen last year. And now, as Bryce Young gets comfortable with himself, but also with this much improved offensive line, Adam Thielen's getting downfield a little more and showing at, I think you gave him a couple years. I think he's only, air quotes, only 34. But he's showing he can still be an impact player in this league. I don't think it's crazy they would extend him. Obviously, you mentioned some other priorities who are ahead of him, namely J.C. Horn. But I would think there'll be conversations about that.
I mean, why not? Especially if you can even knock the cap number down a little bit by giving him an extension. Look, to me, you mentioned tight end, and we'll have to close on this. Joe Person from The Athletic. Hope to see you at Grandover coming up in a few months. But here's the thing about Thielen. He actually acts like a tight end for them in that he is the security blanket for Bryce. I don't know what, a dozen targets like on average over the last few weeks. It's been great to see him back, and it's been great to see Bryce grow. As maybe it's a direct result of having Adam Thielen around. They might have to go out and find another one if Adam Thielen decides to retire at some point. Joe Person, at Joseph Person on Twitter. Thank you very much for your time, my friend. I will talk to you and see you soon. I mean, the timing was perfect. the phone cut out right at the end of our conversation with Joe Person. All right, much to do. We haven't even we haven't talked baseball yet. We're going to do that with Elliot Johnson later on. The Yankees threw around a bunch of money yesterday to Max Fried, getting the former Braves pitcher. Also, I saw somebody put up on, I believe it was Twitter yesterday, how every team could afford a contract like Juan Soto. I don't know that is true. I mean, you could, but it would hurt you in a lot of other ways for some teams. But my assertion has always been that most teams can afford anybody. And in the case of Shohei Ohtani, regardless of how the Dodgers structured their contract, and almost the entire contract is deferred money. But the Dodgers, even if it were all actual today dollars, the Dodgers break even on the Ohtani contract based on what he brings to their organization in terms of revenue, in terms of merchandise, in terms of advertising. The Dodgers make it back. Some guys pay for themselves. Alex Rodriguez always paid for himself, whether it was ticket revenue or merchandise. Those guys pay for themselves. Juan Soto is going to come pretty close to doing that for the Mets. He's not Ohtani. He doesn't have an entire nation like Japan losing their minds. And keep in mind that in Japan, their sports heroes are national heroes. Like our sports superstars, the Tiger Woods, the LeBron James, the Michael Jordans. I mean, they're sports superstars. Nah, man. In Japan, Shohei Ohtani, he's the number one human in Japan. Number one. So, yeah, I think we'll talk about that with Elliot Johnson coming up a little bit later on. When we come back, one-timers, I am ready. Graham's got shots, or Graham has passes. I have shots. He is the Sebastian Aho to my Brent Burns. Next.
Raleigh to Boone, Charlotte to Chapel Hill. Your Carolina is covered. Adam Gold on the North Carolina Sports Network.
If you're in need of a midweek boost, FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook, has you covered. It's the Hump Day Parlays Reward Stack. That's funny just to say. Now, every Wednesday, you can get parlay profit boosts on everything from spreads to totals, even player props. Don't let the weekends have all the fun. Take advantage of the Hump Day Parlays Reward Stack right now. Who knows? It might just become your thing. Look for the Hump Day Parlays Reward Stack in the FanDuel app to find your profit boost. Go to FanDuel.com/AGS today. FanDuel.com/AGS right now. 21 and over and present in North Carolina. Opt-in required. Max wager amount applies. Bonuses issued as non-withdrawable profit boost tokens. Restrictions apply, including token expiration. See terms for both offers at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 877-718-5543 or visit morethanagame.nc.gov.
Healthcare.gov has plans for health because you have plans for life. All plans cover doctor visits and emergency care to keep you and your family running strong. All plans cover hospital stays and prescriptions, so you can have peace of mind. Visit healthcare.gov to explore health plans from the brands you know. 4 out of 5 customers can find a health plan for $10 or less per month with financial help. Enroll at healthcare.gov by December 15th for coverage starting January 1st. Paid for by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services.
As fall championships begin, the Governor's Highway Safety Program would like to remind you to buckle your seatbelt when traveling home from today's events. Whether you're driving out of town or across town this holiday season, wearing a seatbelt is your best defense against injury or death in a crash. During the busiest time of travel, prioritize your safety and buckle up. Every seat, every time. And remember, click it or ticket. It's the law. This message brought to you by the North Carolina High School Athletic Association and the Governor's Highway Safety Program.
Open enrollment for health insurance is here. But don't worry, North Carolina Farm Bureau Insurance has you covered for all your health insurance needs, including Medicare. And with offices in every county, a trusted, experienced agent is just around the corner, ready to help find a plan that's right for you. Visit ncfbins.com or stop by your local office today. North Carolina Farm Bureau Insurance, helping you is what we do best.
As public power customers, we experience fewer outages and faster restoration than customers of other electric providers. But the benefits of having a locally owned electric system go far beyond unbeaten reliability. Our local public power employees support our community, providing electric hookups for events, installing and maintaining ballpark lights, holiday lights, traffic lights, street lights, and more. Local people working together to meet local needs. That's the value of public power. Learn more at electricities.com.
It's that time of year to come see me. Don't let COVID-19 and the flu stop you. So make sure you don't have to cancel on those you love the most.
By getting your flu and COVID vaccines. They're safe and effective.
Both flu and COVID vaccines have been updated to fight against new virus strains.
So make sure you don't miss that family gathering and protect those around you. Ask your healthcare provider about updated flu and COVID-19 shots.
Get protected this season with updated COVID-19 and flu shots. Visit myspot.nc.gov and find yours today.
Have you ever noticed how little things can make a big difference? When your neighbor is out of town, why not pick up their newspaper and put it on their doorstep? How about asking if you can help when you see a person with a disability trying to get out of their car? Or simply smiling when you meet a stranger? It takes so little time, but it works wonders. In North Carolina, we have always taken pride in being kind. Little things do make a difference. Makes you feel better. Makes everyone around you feel better.
This is Adam Gold.
Home runs are homers, not dingers, not jacks, not bombs. Can I use tater?
No. Can we say going yard?
Oh, yes.
Right?
If we can't exaggerate, if we can't use colorful, flowery metaphors and descriptions, why are we here?
The Adam Gold Show.
It's the Adam Gold Show. I am Adam Gold. No Victoria today. She's never here on Wednesdays, although apparently next week she's going to be here on Wednesday. She's keeping us guessing. Graham Hill on the ones and twos. Always cool to have Graham here. All right, sir. We do this on this segment every day except Friday when we do Panthers paw print. I missed the last Panthers paw print, so I'll have to get this one coming up. But it's time for one-timers Q&A.
Sebastian Aho from the face-off circle to you, Andrei Svechnikov. Let's see if we can put the puck in the back of the
Andre?
net.
I'm shooting 1.75% at 5-on-5.
Well, the Carolina Hurricanes as a whole, not so good on the 5-on-5 play. Anyways, all three Triangle teams have their bowl destinations set. NC State, of course, in the Military Bowl against East Carolina. UNC, two basketball schools playing in a football stadium with Carolina and UConn in the Fenway Bowl.
Right.
And then Duke in the Gator Bowl against
playing in a baseball
Ole
stadium.
Miss. What'd I say?
Football.
Man,
you know what? You might have said it right.
They're playing football in a baseball stadium. I'll probably say
basketball
it wrong.
schools playing football in a baseball stadium.
Out of all these bowl games, Adam, I'm curious, which bowl game do you find the most intriguing?
The Are any of them playing in the Pop-Tarts Bowl?
No, who is it that's playing in the Pop-Tart Bowl?
It's Miami.
Alabama. No.
It's Miami and some.
Miami's playing in the
Miami's
Pop-Tart
playing
Bowl.
in the Pop-Tart Bowl. Yeah, none. Unless a Pop-Tart mascot is going to do something, or some coach is going to get disgusting fake mayonnaise dumped on him, liquefied mayonnaise dumped on him. Then I'm not all that interested. We don't know the players are going to be in these games. We really don't. So we talked to Matt Brown about this yesterday from Extra Points, and this is the kind of stuff that he really digs into because he's more about the business marketing side of college sports. It's got to be difficult if you are a sponsor. It has to be a gimmick. It has to be something goofy, because we literally there will be 500 players like changing teams, and those guys are all out of the bowls that they're going to play. It's just insane, but it is what it is. I don't know. UNC UConn. I'll take that one.
Okay,
because I think UConn might actually be good.
All right, fair enough. In the baseball stadium too. That element.
Fenway Park. Oh, come on. It's the Fenway Bowl.
Same day as NC State, East Carolina. I think that UNC plays at 11. NC State and ECU plays at 6. I mean, for me personally, just with my background growing up in Eastern North Carolina, NC State, East Carolina back in the day, like that was the game to go to.
Great game.
When it was a regular season matchup. Russell Wilson throwing goal line interceptions at Dowdy-Ficklen Stadium. Obviously, it carried over to the NFL. But it does stink that, at least for State, it feels like they're going to have a good majority of their roster.
That was a lot of Russell Wilson shade right there. I'm not against it. I'm just saying.
That's just one of
you
the
got two shots in there.
That's just one of the core memories that I have from an NC State East Carolina game. I don't know, just maybe the play calling is just not what it. Anyways, for NC State, it feels like they're going to have a good majority of their players. East Carolina, their star running back Rajee Harris will be out. One of their top wide receivers, and Chris Swell also not playing. For NC State, C.J. Bailey. I mean, why would you not play? They're going to be playing next year. I know people could say, well, he could get hurt. He could get hurt at any game next year. Hollywood Smothers.
It does look like, first of all, next Tuesday, Blake Carroll and Dave Doran both on the show.
Wow, this Friday.
This
Friday, Blake Carroll couldn't get Dave Doran. On Next Up this Friday morning with myself. So there you go. Little in-house preview. All right, next up, we were talking about this off air. The Carolina Panthers, believe it or not, are a minus 2.5-point favorite over the Dallas Cowboys this Sunday. Carolina's first game as a favorite in 2 years. After the disaster ending we saw this past Monday night for the Cowboys, does this feel like, now I know I'm going to sound, I might jinx it here, a guaranteed win for the Panthers on Sunday?
First of all, the last time they were favored by 3 over the Steelers, and they lost the game by, I think, 8. So
is that Cam Newton's injury game? The shoulder injury?
No. That injury was in Cam Newton won with the Panthers in 2002. Okay. That game was the Week 8 Thursday night game back in 2018, I believe, in Pittsburgh. But we're how many days away from the game?
About 3. Yeah.
It opened at 2. Yeah, I don't know they'll probably still remain favorites. But, by the way, they have covered the last 5. You know what they say? Good teams win, great teams cover.
Yep.
So, I think the Panthers are a great team.
There you have it. Adam Gold's stamp of approval. And finally, in the Hurricanes' 3-2 win last night against the Sharks, all defensemen scored as Gostisbehere, Burns, and Chatfield lit the lamp. But, Adam, is there a cause for concern that we did not see any forwards touch the score sheet last night?
No. First of all, everybody other than Jordan Stahl, maybe, and Jordan Martinook played poorly in the first 2 periods. Even though they scored the goal, they really were not all that good at all in the first 2 periods. I thought they played 7 good minutes of the first period, and then basically San Jose took the game over. But in the third period, they got to their game. I'm not concerned with who scored because the Hurricanes are designed to get offense from the back end. I mean, the truth is that Brent Burns is on a historically slow offensive pace for him. That was his second goal of the season. We are more than 1/3 of the way through the year. Here's a guy that a couple of years ago scored 17 goals. So even last year wasn't a great year. He still had, a point every other game at least. So he's not even close to that right now. This was his 8th point. We're talking about somebody on pace for less than 25 points this year. So it's good to see him get on the score sheet. Shane Gostisbehere has been an offensive driver all year, but also nice to see Jalen Chatfield, who I think has more to give offensively. But more importantly, it was good to see Burns score. That's what really needs to happen.
Raleigh to Boone, Charlotte to Chapel Hill. Your Carolina is covered. Adam Gold on the North Carolina Sports Network.
If you are in need of a midweek boost, does FanDuel have something for you? America's #1 sportsbook has you covered. It's called the Hump Day Parlays Reward Stack. Say that 5 times fast. Every Wednesday, you can get parlay profit boosts on everything, from spreads to totals, even player props. Don't let the weekends have all the fun. Take advantage. The Hump Day Parlays Reward Stack. Do it right now. Who knows? You could win. What's the worst that could happen? Hump Day Reward Parlays Reward Stack can be found in the FanDuel app. To find your profit boost, FanDuel.com/AdamGold. FanDuel.com/AdamGold. 21 and over and present in North Carolina. Opt-in required. Max wager amount applies. Bonuses issued as non-withdrawable profit boost tokens. Restrictions apply, including token expiration. See terms for both offers at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 877-718-5543 or visit morethanagame.nc.gov.
Welcome to the North Carolina Education Lottery Winners Club Aromatherapy Room. Our first scent is the essence of this month's scratch-offs.
I'm getting notes of anticipation mingled with cold hard cash.
Anyone else? Oh, is that tilapia?
Sorry, that's my lunch. New Diamond 10X and Lotteria are here. The Winners Club awaits. Must be 18 to play. Approximate overall odds of winning range from 1 in 3.99 to 4.23. Problem gambling helpline 877-718-5543.
Organize easy. Organize tough. Customize your work truck or van with upfit solutions from Van Products. Steel and aluminum shelving, toolboxes, data files, cabinets, drawers, conduit carriers, ladder racks, everything safe and secure. Everything built as unbreakable as you by Adrian Steel. Backed by the best warranty in the business. 3 years, 36,000 miles. Everything custom installed by Van Products so you know it's done right. From a single work rig to a fleet, choose custom installed upfit solutions from Van Products.
Pinch me, because lobster's back at Carolina Ale House. This fan favorite's only available through the end of the year, so head for your closest Carolina Ale House and load up on lobster. Enjoy your favorites or try something new like lobster seafood scampi, surf and turf, grouper fingers, and more. And as long as you're treating yourself, go all out with dessert too. Top off your lobster meal with a nice warm brookie with ice cream on top. Visit any Carolina Ale House in the Triangle and treat yourself this fall. #AleYeah.
Give the gift of legendary craftsmanship this holiday season with an Omega timepiece. From the iconic Speedmaster that accompanied astronauts to the moon to the Seamaster loved by the world's most famous spy, Omega watches capture the spirit of adventure and precision. At Bailey's Fine Jewelry, find a timepiece that matches your story. Elevate your holiday with an Omega timepiece from Bailey's and make this season unforgettable. Voted Best Jeweler. Learn more at BaileyBox.com.
Hi, it's Jonathan Cotton, and people often ask me, what is the Good Feet store? A shoe store? I respond, we are an art support store. Haven't you spent enough time trying different shoes and all the disposable products that are supposed to make your feet feel better? Go to goodfeet.com to make your appointment today.
Meet Cheryl. Hey. She's on vacation and lost in the moment. Unfortunately, so is her Chase debit card.
It's gotta be somewhere.
Maybe she lost it at salsa night.
These skirts should have pockets.
Or maybe she lost it at Pilates.
3 and 2 and...
But she's not worried. With the Chase mobile app, she can lock her card till it turns up. Tools that help protect. One bank that puts you in control. Visit chase.com/checking. Chase, make more of what's yours.
Chase mobile app is available for select mobile devices. Message and data rates may apply. JP Morgan Chase Bank, N.A. member FDIC.
This hour of the Triangle Sports Leader is powered by Ritchie Law Firm. Injury lawyers. Ritchie Law is on top of it. Go to ritchielaw.com.
That's ritchielaw.com.
WCMC HD1 Holly Springs. Take us with you on the radio, Instagram, TikTok, Alexa, and YouTube. 99.9 The Fan, the Triangle Sports Leader.
Snap, handoff left. Trevor Etienne charges ahead. Touchdown, Georgia. He gets across the goal line, and the Dogs walk it off. Carson reined back with his injured right hand hanging down near his knee. Becomes a Georgia legend with a handoff to Trevor Etienne, who surges off left guard and wins the SEC title for Georgia in overtime. Dogs 22, Texas 19, the final in Atlanta.
Was the SEC title game. Texas lost to Georgia twice this year. That's both of their losses. They lost in Austin, and they lost on a, air quotes, neutral site in Atlanta. That's like LSU always getting to claim that New Orleans was a neutral site. That is fantastic. All right. Hi, everyone. I'm Adam Gold. That is Graham Hill. He's sitting in for Victoria, even though her name is still adorned on the stocking. I do appreciate. There's a lot of snow. We got to have about a foot of snow already on the graphic. Not outside.
No.
It doesn't snow here in Raleigh. It snows in Charlotte. But by the way, hi Charlotte. We're on the radio down there now.
Hello, Greenville.
So, hello, Greenville. We're always on the radio in Greenville. Actually, not always, but we are now. Hi, Wilmington. Hi, Asheville.
Can't forget the 910. Yep.
Our friends up on the mountain. And by the way, coming up later on today, an hour and a half from now, Dowell Loggains, the new head coach at App State. So I have something planned for him. I'm not going to tell you what it is, but a big opening. A big intro for Dowell Loggains.
Ooh, interesting.
He's more of an NFL guy. He's got an NFL background, more so than a college background, although relatively successful this past year as the offensive coordinator at South Carolina. Heck, I wanted North Carolina to go after Shane Beamer. Real quick, speaking of North Carolina, conflicting reports now. Earlier, we had Brian Murphy from WRAL TV5 say that a special meeting of the board of either trustees or board of governors. I don't know the difference between the two.
Yeah.
Trustees. What's the job description of both? I have no idea. Anyway, somebody's got to approve a contract, but there was a special meeting of the board of trustees called to deal with the football coaching search and potentially a contract that needed to be approved. Well, Tar Heel Illustrated, I guess that's a rival site, has said that no meeting has been called. I have no idea.
So,
right?
Do we need to go delete the YouTube video?
I have no. Again, I don't know. I would until we hear one way or the other. You know, let the people who made that report, our friend Brian Murphy from WRAL TV5, he's sports investigative reporter, let him deal with that. But at this point, we don't know. But I don't have any reason to think that Brian was wrong. So just because some people haven't gotten it confirmed doesn't mean that it hasn't happened. Here's what we know: that the University of North Carolina has interest in Bill Belichick, and Bill Belichick has interest in the University of North Carolina. It doesn't mean it's going to happen, right? I said this yesterday. It's always been my feeling once Belichick became involved in this process is that people need to unwrap from their mind the way normal college coaching searches go. That at UNC, UNC is not Alabama, right? They're not Ohio State. They're not Texas. They're not, let's just use Southern Cal, even though Southern Cal is not what they used to be, in that they don't select. There's not a line at the door, I want to be that team's coach. Doesn't mean that there aren't coaches who are interested, right? But in this particular case, it's not UNC selecting and then simply negotiating a contract with who they want to be their coach. It's Bill Belichick, work with me here, hypothetically saying, all right, you want me to be your coach? And essentially you have to prove to me why I should be your coach. It's almost an entirely flipped scenario in terms of leverage. So if the Tar Heels, if you want Bill Belichick, I've got a 400-page manifesto that not only do I want you to read cover to cover, there'll be a quiz at the end of it, and you have to get 100% on it, otherwise I ain't going to be your coach. And maybe this is all a long game to just keep his name in the news to get a coaching job. I did hear somebody say that they thought the NFL would pass him by again. Very possible. I've said this for a while. I think the best position for him in the NFL would be with the Cowboys. I mean, he could deal with Jerry Jones. He could actually get Jerry to shut up. I mean, he'd have to deal with the fact that Jerry is the general manager, but he could deal with Jerry. So I think that, to me, is, if he's in the NFL, that's where he'd go. Now, does Jerry Jones really want Bill Belichick? And I'm not sure he does. One more thing before we break. Chip Patterson's going to join us in about 8 or 9 minutes. The NCAA, sorry for laughing, has discussed and is very close to implementing 72 or 76 team NCAA men's basketball tournament fields. So, and I know how people feel about this. They assure us, so says Charlie Baker, 76 is it. We're not going to go beyond 76. Mind you, they passed a rule, a bylaw, that says that maximum field size could be 25% of the members playing. There are like 350 NCAA men's basketball teams, like at Division I, like 350, something of that number. I'll get the exact number here in a second. 25% of that basically is 90. They knew what they were doing. They didn't. It wasn't randomly a quarter. No, it wasn't random. So they can say what they want. I'm not suggesting that this is good. I have said in the past that I believe that in the interest of bracket fairness, that every bracket should have the 1 seed play 2 16 seeds that play in. So we have it in 2 brackets. We should have it in all 4. And the same thing that they do with, let's just say, the 6 seed plays an 11 seed that plays their way in from the first 4. Every bracket should have one of those as well. Right now, only 2 of the 4 brackets have that. That's the way you add 4 more teams and go from 68 to 72, and I don't think that would be intrusive. But do not believe that the NCAA is going to say we are not going beyond 76. Do not believe that for a second, that the NCAA isn't going beyond 76. Did somebody send me a text?
No, I have some breaking news for you, Adam.
Okay, well, I'm glad you have it because I don't. Nobody told me these things.
According to Inside Carolina,
our friends,
UNC finalizing deal to land Bill Belichick as new football head coach. This came out just about 6 minutes ago. Again, it's on Inside Carolina's website. You can follow them on Twitter at Inside Carolina. They have a link posted that goes to the story. But UNC finalizing deal to land Bill Belichick as new head football coach.
All right, so in the last hour or so, we have Brian Murphy say Board of Trustees meeting, blah, blah, blah. We have Tar Heel Illustrated say no meeting. And now we have Inside Carolina say finalizing a deal.
And according to that report, this news is starting to get a little bit more traction. I actually just refreshed my Twitter, and first thing I see is ABC 11 Eyewitness News. Sources tell ABC 11 that the UNC Board of Trustees, remember at the top of the show, we were discussing how there was an emergency meeting among the UNC Board of Trustees to finalize a deal on the next head coach. But they are also coming out and saying that, that was just the report of the meeting. So my apologies on that. I pretty much just repeated what I said. But Inside Carolina has a story for anyone who wants to go up there and look at it.
So here's the thing. I get back to my initial statement in that we have to stop thinking about these particular arrangements like they are college and college coach. All right, well, we hope to have Chip Patterson when we come back. Chip Patterson, CBSSports.com Cover 3 podcast moderator. We'll check in with him maybe for at least a couple of minutes. Next.
Going beyond the box scores. Adam Gold on the North Carolina Sports Network.
Evan, Canty, and Michelle are unsportsmanlike.
All these other teams that we're talking about competing for championships, they're going to be getting better. Nobody is stagnant. If you win a Super Bowl, that's because your team is really, really talented and you continue to ascend while other teams plateaued. The question is, have we seen the best version of the Philadelphia Eagles this season? And I don't think it's off the board that might be the case.
Unsportsmanlike.
Mornings from 6 to 9 on 99.9 The Fan, the Triangle Sports Leader.
Hi, it's Adam Gold from my friend Gordon Miller, Miller Lending, Kildare Farm Road in Cary. Have I told you about FOMO? No, it's not fear of missing out, but it's close. It's fear of mortgage overpay. Here's what happens. You're getting a mortgage, whether you're buying a home, especially if you're a first-time home buyer. There's sticker shock here. Closing costs, they add up. But what if you're refinancing? You know all about closing costs. You've paid them before. What a bad decision that was, because 1 year after paying closing costs, you realize you wanted to refinance because the rates have dropped. What do you do then? You've already paid thousands of dollars. Don't ever be in this situation again. Gordon Miller invented the no closing cost mortgage so you could always take advantage of the system. Rates drop. They do. They will next year. As a matter of fact, Gordon tells me they'll be in the 5s next year. Refinance with a clear mind. MillerLending.com, home of the original no closing cost mortgage. Miller Lending is on Kildare Farm Road in Cary. They are an equal housing lender. NMLS ID 250-2146.
It's bow time. 'Tis the season for food and family, but thanks to Bojangles, you don't have to spend hours in the kitchen when loved ones come home for the holidays. Set down the spatula and put away the mixing bowls, because this holiday season, Bojangles is ready to help you celebrate with all your family favorites like Chicken Supreme, Cajun Filet Biscuits, or a big bow box of hand-breaded chicken, scratch-made biscuits, and fixins for the whole family. We'll make the food so you can focus on making memories. Head to Bojangles and gift yourself a taste of home. It's bow time.
If it's ho-ho-ho time, it's Bo-Bo-Bo time. Time to order a party-sized platter of that bodacious Bojangles flavor before your next holiday celebration. Choose a Bojangles Supremes platter and get 50 whole breast tenderloin fillets. Or go with a Bojangles dessert platter and get 2 dozen Bo-Berry biscuits, 2 dozen cinnamon twists, or 1 dozen of each. It's a platter full of Bo-liciousness. And don't forget to pick up Bojangles gift cards. Just the right gift for anyone on your list. Hurry, it's Bo time.
A new game has landed in North Carolina. Officials are calling this new species of game Cash Pop. So easy to play, it's out of this world. Reports confirm you just pick and match one number to win up to $2,500. With 5 drawings every day, cash landings have been cited across the state. So be on the lookout for Cash Pop from the North Carolina Education Lottery. The wins are out there. Must be 18 to play. See Cash Pop prize and odds chart at nclottery.com for details. Problem gambling helpline 877-718-5543.
Looking for a new vehicle? Wilkinson Chevrolet Cadillac Buick GMC in Sanford is one of the only dealerships where you can shop all 4 brands under one roof. Get unbeatable deals on new and pre-owned vehicles. Our expert service department keeps you on the road, and our full body shop handles any repairs. It's all here at Wilkinson, where quality and convenience come first. Drive with confidence. Drive with Wilkinson Chevrolet Cadillac Buick GMC on NC 87 South in Sanford or online at wilkinsoncars.com.
It's your last chance to snag Dell Technologies' lowest prices of the year before the holidays. The future is on sale today with limited time deals on select PCs like the XPS 16 that accelerate AI with Intel Core Ultra processors. This is their biggest sale of the year and the best time to upgrade, but it's only here for a limited time. Shop now at Dell.com/deals. That's Dell.com/deals.
This is Adam Gold.
Georgia needs Alabama to beat LSU right now. And Georgia fans are beside themselves thinking that they have to root for Alabama for anything. So, I mean, it's messy everywhere.
The Adam Gold Show.
It's the Adam Gold Show. I am Adam Gold. Graham Hill on the ones and twos today. Victoria is on assignment. It is hard to believe. We talk to Chip Patterson every week, mostly on Wednesdays. It's the normal spot this time. If I'm not going to be here on Wednesday, I hate missing it, so I move it. So we can, so I don't miss my weekly conversation with my friend Chip Patterson. This is the most fun I have all week anyway. It's hard to believe, Chip Patterson, that you and I, CBSSports.com Cover 3 podcast moderator, I listened for the first time live the other day. Gosh, It's good. I told you, I'm mute. Normally, you guys are on live. I'm a little bit busy. But I wasn't here Monday, and I listened Monday, and it was awesome. I loved every second of it. So, but it's hard to believe that you and I have talked now however many weeks in a row, and I started honestly annoying you about the college football playoff, like in week 3. And it's the third topic on our list today. So we have the field. I've got Lane Kiffin and Jimbo Fisher whining about it, but it's the third topic on my list today. So let's start with Bill Belichick.
Yep.
And I talked to Steve Logan about this yesterday. Is the college game, and I believe it is the college game so drastically different where this arrangement kind of makes sense?
I think could work. I don't know. I can't say kind of makes sense.
Okay.
Because it could, how about this? It could work if the University of North Carolina makes unprecedented financial investments in its football spending.
Right.
It could work if the University of North Carolina raises enough money so that its name, image, and likeness, which, by the way, isn't going away. Like, there might be revenue sharing, but then there will still be NIL on top of that. It makes sense if you are able to approve and allow for the kinds of staffing that allows for Bill Belichick to be the same football coach who can scout an opponent, find the weakness, create a new game plan that can help expose those weaknesses. It can work because Bill Belichick spent a lot of time with his son around Washington where he got to see high-level power I know Washington's barely a bowl team, but high-level power conference athletes be able to undergo coaching from Jed Fish, who, by the way, is a little bit more of an NFL-style college coach as well.
Mm-hmm.
So it could work. I don't think it makes sense, though.
Okay.
I don't think it makes sense in the sense that how long is Bill Belichick going to be there? I don't think it makes sense in terms of the total trust, if there is a succession plan, that Steve Belichick has got the goods to be able to lead you into the future.
Right.
And I don't think that it makes sense because if you get all this financial investment and you don't get the results that you want, what do you do then? What is the long-standing – I mean, is this a cheap high? Is this just simple – is this sugar? Is this candy that's going to make you feel good about yourself for a little bit, and then you look back in 5 years and you wonder, what was it all worth? Is this going to be a weekend in Vegas? You know what? Actually, this is a weekend in Vegas, because what could happen? You could hit it big.
Yes, you
could. It could work out, or you could be broke and have a hangover. Okay, and so
you get punched by Mike Tyson.
Yeah, I mean, even if this is where you're at and you're making that decision, then sure, I'm not in the position to make that decision. I'm not a donor. I'm not a booster. I'm not a board member. I'm not a member of the athletic department. So could it work? Yes. I see how it can work. You get one whole staff that is all about procuring talent and building out the roster. You get another whole staff that's all about coaching them up. And together, you would be able to very quickly, if that all works out, jump to the conversation where, you are going to enter every year in the ACC among the contenders. But you know who else was among contenders? SMU, Louisville.
Mm-hmm. Right.
I mean, I don't know if the investment is as much of a level up guaranteed based on what's going to be happening. So, look, yes, it can work. I see the vision. I cannot agree that it makes sense.
All right. Because I think there are a lot of different, avenues we can explore here. So this has nothing to do with North Carolina. It has everything to do with college football in general. How many schools, I could use the University of Miami as an example. How many schools don't get the most? North Carolina don't get the most out of their talent because the game plans are poor, or the in-game management is poor, or they leave too many plays on the field. There's lack of attention to detail. How many schools do you think don't maximize their ability in terms of wins and losses?
More than you would think.
Yeah. You're not going to overinflate that number in my eyes, because I think it's a lot.
Texas A&M, you could go through and you could just basically start looking at all of these programs that recruit at a very high level and then fail to turn that into results. I would argue that the University of Florida has been in that position a lot recently. I think that you could look at, Texas A&M, Florida. If we were going to take this thing to the Big Ten, Michigan's never really recruited at a huge top level.
Now you could say Ohio State this year.
Thank you. I was just about to say, you could argue that Ohio State, based on the investment that they make, the Texas Longhorns, based on the investment that they make and the way that they recruit, have underperformed. So
LSU.
LSU has a couple. LSU is a little bit more of the casino, right? Boom or bust. We're either winning the national championship with the best team ever, or we're going out in flames, hitting on a board member's wife allegedly at a gas station.
They are betting on hard on a hard 8.
Hard 12. Yeah, hard 8.
A lot. They're splitting sevens or something like that. That's what LSU does. Chip Patterson is joining us here. So that would be an argument to say that Bill Belichick could certainly be a benefit to North Carolina. Here's the thing because the way I've processed this, I've had over the last couple of days thinking about how could this work, and that manifesto that was leaked by I think it might have been Pete Tham. I don't remember who exactly leaked the story about a 400-page manifesto with a separate staff for coaching, a separate staff for recruiting, which would certainly eliminate Bill Belichick having to recruit, which he doesn't want to. He doesn't want to sit on anybody's couch. But I think we have to stop thinking about this in terms of, is this a good college coach? The way he described it on McAfee's show was in some ways brilliant, in that, look, we are going to be a training program for the National Football League, because that's not the job of any college coach. It might be, in some ways, it might be an added benefit from going to Alabama or to Georgia or Ohio State or Penn State or Michigan. But primarily it's because they just have the best athletes, the best prospects. But the training, almost none of these players are prepared to play NFL football when they get there. There's a huge learning curve. And if Belichick can devise a program that kind of shortens that learning curve, levels that off, that's such an incredible advantage if he is able to tap into something like that. And we won't know until a couple of years down the road anyway. But if he is able to do something like that, then that's a new model, since we all agree that this is going to look a whole lot closer to what professional football looks like than college, right?
Well, I mean, this is where I've got to go locals only, to which I say at what cost? Because North Carolina has to get out of the ACC if they're going to actually do that. I mean,
they're trying.
I mean, I don't see, because the way that I understand it, the recommendations / demands / plans, like, have you ever heard somebody talk about the polo shirts? Like, you look at a program photo or a team photo at the beginning of the season, and you know what you'll find at Alabama and at Florida and at a lot of these places? Armies of polo shirts. And those polo shirts are paid positions.
Right.
And the $1 million meal table and like all the different ways that you approach strength training and nutrition and just that is something that doesn't exist right now where North Carolina is in terms of spending,
right?
In terms of investment in football. And so where's that money? Where is that extra influx coming from? And it may be that the lure of Bill Belichick, the promise of Bill Belichick, has led to some people to step up and to make some big time commitments to be able to drive this thing home. And if so, it is going to change the way that the University of North Carolina treats its football program, and it is going to change the way that the university as a whole presents its athletic department. And there are going to be some people probably on the faculty and within the university community who don't like that. And then there's going to be some people who have been banging their fists for decades and saying, like, see, it's about time that we woke up and realized that the only way to be successful as a university athletic department is to invest in football and treat it just as seriously as Ohio State does, as Texas does, as Florida does. And that is a big move away from what I've experienced as somebody who grew up in Raleigh, somebody who went to the University of North Carolina and has continued to remain, here in the Triangle, living in Raleigh ever since and covering college sports since 2009. So I'm fascinated to see what happens next.
I am too. I think this whole thing is going to be a great social experiment. All right, let me before we lose you.
Was all that fair, by the way? I mean, this is all very raw. I'm just. Would you say that that's a fair judgment of the university community and the sort of decisions and the fork in the road that we're at right now?
I think it's 100% fair.
Okay.
You might be the most rational, fair-minded person I speak to on a regular basis. Way more rational and fair-minded than Brinson. I kid. I didn't need to take a shot at Will, did I?
What a compliment.
Oh, my God. That's worse than what I just said. That's more of a shot than what I just said. Oh, man, I love Will Brinson. All right.
Will Brinson.
All right. No, so, yes, I think it's fair, and I think I'm trying to be not negative or positive. I think that I just believe that the future looks nothing at all like the past. And to dismiss it because, well, he's not a college coach, how does it, I just think that people are misreading the past as having anything to do with the future. I don't think we know what the future is going to look like.
Right.
So this, if we took Bill Belichick out of this and we just placed random NFL coach, let's go Kyle Shanahan as opposed to Bill Belichick. I mean, this is maybe who the hires are going to be in the future, right? Maybe they're going to be professional football coaches, NFL coaches who are, I don't want to coach for the 49ers anymore. I want to coach at Cal because it's a training ground. It's more pure coaching. Maybe that's what we're going to be dealing with. I don't know, but
it's cost. It's cost, and how long are you going to get it? I mean, it's a 72-year-old who turned 73 in the spring. He is 8 months younger.
They got younger.
is 8 months younger than Mac Brown, and his master plan, manifesto, Bible, the Tar Heel Talmud, as I've been calling it on the Cover 3 podcast.
Did you really use that?
Yes.
That's outstanding.
I wonder, are we going to look back in 5 to 10 years and say that was the moment that North Carolina started taking football seriously? Or are we going to be like, man, that was a very expensive trip to Vegas?
Any reason why you use Talmud and not Torah?
Honestly, I was not the first person to make that joke.
Okay, it's fine. Either way, they both work.
Exactly. they both work. It was the alliteration that I think that drew my attention to it.
By the way, back-to-back days where we've had Judaism on the program. Yesterday we talked about Jake Retzlaff and B.Y. Jew and the Manischewitz deal, which is great.
A real class that I actually did take at the University of North Carolina, Ancient Judaism with Jody Magnus. It was great.
Fantastic. I would have failed that class, by the way. All right, let me move on to Darian Mensah. So Malik Murphy, quarterback at Duke, who had a great year. Not only him, but Grayson Loftus, the backup, both entered the transfer portal. Do we know who's going to play quarterback for Duke in the bowl game? Do they have another? I have no idea what Manny Diaz and company are going to do. Anyway, they wasted
Wildcat with Star.
I guess they're going to have to, right?
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, that's the best thing we got.
They waited a whole day. Darian Mensah from Tulane comes out of the transfer portal, and I wasn't a joke. I asked, did Duke upgrade? Because I had seen that at least a couple of days ago they called Mensah the top player in the portal. I mean, I find that hard to believe, but he's certainly a good one. How would you process this move for Duke and Mensah?
Okay, number one, for Duke, I think it is really exciting for two reasons. Number one, he's got a lot of talent, but he still has some development left to go, and he has 3 years of eligibility left. Right. So you are hoping that what you are getting is that situation where we almost forget he's a transfer quarterback because he gets a couple of years there, a couple of years of winning, a couple of years of success. So you've got a longer runway than you had with Malik Murphy. I think it's an interesting development to the Malik Murphy story because when we find out he hits the portal, the initial reaction within just a peek behind the curtain within our CBS Sports newsroom, the conversation about all these guys when they hit the portal just sort of starts up. And someone's like, man, that's really disappointing that Malik would just do 1 year and then all of a sudden go chase it. But then when you find out that Darian Mensah is the targeted quarterback to replace him, it's like, well, maybe this is what the transfer portal is for, where an honest conversation can be had that says, hey, we appreciate you setting a new school record for passing touchdowns this year, but we might also explore other options in the transfer portal to be the starting quarterback next year. And look, now Malik Murphy is, a target for Auburn. Now he has an opportunity to be able to go out there and seek playing time. I secondhand heard word from somebody about Mensah that involves some players are great in practice, and then they go out there and, excuse my vulgar language, but they crap their pants on game day.
Right.
And I think that Mensah, again, because he's like still raw, still developing, he's somebody who I think won people over with how he plays when the lights are the brightest and when it's time to go in and play. So I'm fascinated to see. Jonathan Brewer, the Duke offensive coordinator, is a great coach. And I think that Mensah, under Brewer's direction, has a very bright future.
And it's obvious. I mean, the name tells us he's smart. It's a joke. People will get it. Just think about it just for a second.
It'll make you happy that you and Tom Fornelli made the same joke.
I have to think about that.
Yeah, that makes you happy.
It does. On. Tom is incredible.
A bright mind.
Very, very smart. All right. Anything else about the portal that's pertinent to either the ACC or the local schools before I move on to a quick little chat about the playoff?
I think that if a decision was made at NC State between CJ Bailey and Kevin Concepcion, obviously it was probably made a couple weeks ago because of how quickly KC hit the portal.
Right.
I would agree with that decision.
Okay.
I think that CJ Bailey showed you enough that being able to say this is going to be our priority, and then instead of trying to win a bidding war against somebody else, you can invest elsewhere on the roster. you got some really good value additions at the wide receiver position.
Yeah.
Last portal and pass catcher, if I'm to count Justin Jolie too.
Sure.
So I think that was a great example of being smart about your investments when it comes to operating in that space where you are not 15, 16, 17, 18, where you're not even my favorite Indiana Hoosiers, who, according to one analysis, spent $13 million on NIL this year to be able to assemble that roster.
Oh, maybe that's a lot. That's probably a lot for Indiana. Yeah, that's a lot. $13 million is a lot.
$13 million is it's more than we see around here in the great state of North Carolina.
All right, now to the playoff. So I asked this of Jerry Palm yesterday. Did they, regardless of the method they used to get it, did they get the right 12 teams?
Yes.
Okay. I think so too. I agree. That they got the right. Well, I don't know if I do agree with what I just said.
By their definition, or did they get the right 12 by my? Because I have always fought for most deserving has to matter.
I agree with you.
And that the word best is extremely problematic.
Yes.
So
best leaves too much. We think this team would beat this team. I clowned the statement. I love Boo Corrigan, but when he said last year, well, we always ask, who would you not want to play? And I'm like, no, nobody asks that. First of all, that's just the way you justify a bad decision. To me, shameful.
I am far from the first person to mention this. I know I mentioned it in our reaction. I know I mentioned it on CBS Sports HQ, but the biggest takeaway was that they either explicitly or it was strongly suggested was like, okay, we cannot cook conference championship games. This has been too big of a talking point going into the last weekend. These conference championship games are huge pieces of our individual media rights contracts for all the conferences that have all the voting positions. They're organizing the college football playoff. And so when you look at Texas getting the top non-conference champion, when you look at Penn State being the next non-conference champion, and when you look at SMU still remaining in the field with a little bit of wiggle room too.
Inside of Clemson.
Like I think that was the message that was sent. It has nothing to do with strength of schedule or non-conference scheduling or whatever, like the misinterpretation, the message, if one was sent by this college football playoff bracket and the way the final rankings broke, is that conference championship weekend can mess with seeding in the 12-team playoff, but it will not mess with our teams that we have at the top.
And Clemson took Alabama's spot. Now, I do think that the bigger picture discussion, Chip Patterson is joining us here on a Wednesday. The best league was the Southeastern Conference, and the Big Ten got 4 bids, and the SEC got 3.
Right.
I understand that whine from the SEC. I absolutely understand it. I think that there were, I think Alabama could have been as successful in this tournament as Penn State, or as Indiana, as Notre Dame. I think Alabama could have won it, but they lost 3 times, and the wins and losses have to matter. By the way, it also, even though I've clowned Indiana's schedule, they literally have beaten one team with a winning record, Michigan, at 7-5. That's the only win they have over a team with a winning record, which is what it is. I mean, that's just a fact. That doesn't mean that it's unprecedented, because there have been in a 4-team playoff teams that got bids with 2 wins over teams with winning records, because sometimes the schedule just falls that way. We haven't had we play everybody in our league in some of the bigger leagues over for a long period of time. If you played in the SEC West, there were times where nobody was all that good. or you had one good team, or even in the SEC East, or one of the divisions certainly in the Big Ten. So to me, I think they got it right, but I understand the SEC's kvetch, to use more Yiddish, that they were the best league but didn't get the most bids.
There are if Alabama had just defeated Oklahoma,
right,
it would have made the SEC championship game. And what we saw from the committee says if you make the SEC championship game, you're in the field.
Sure.
They would have, if they had just defeated a 6-6 Oklahoma team as a 3-touchdown favorite,
right,
and not lost 24-3, then Alabama would have gone to the SEC championship game and guaranteed themselves a spot and been the 4th team in.
I agree.
If Ole Miss had not lost to Kentucky,
to
a Kentucky team that did not even make a bowl game,
4-8, on their own field. Ole Miss lost in Oxford to Kentucky.
Then Ole Miss would have been there.
Yeah,
I just think that's where some of it had nothing to do with the non-conference scheduling. Because do you know who Alabama played the week before they lost to Oklahoma?
Mercer.
The Mercer Bears.
Yeah, what was Greg Byrne getting at? Well, we're going to have to dumb down our non-conference schedule. How much dumber could it have gotten? Wisconsin was 5-7, bruh.
And again, I don't want to deal with hypotheticals, and I don't want this to become a Vegas thing and a who would beat who. But one thing that I do like to use odds and point spreads at is a way to say, are you meeting, exceeding, or falling short of an objective expectation? Okay?
Mm-hmm.
No one in the country covered by a greater margin per game across the entire season sample set than the Indiana Hoosiers.
You're right.
Who covered the spread by a whopping 14 points per game. You ready to hear who is next? Number 2, Arizona State. You want to hear who is number 3? The Notre Dame Fighting Irish. Like,
they didn't cover against Northern Illinois though.
But on the whole,
right,
on the entire sample set, Notre Dame covered the spread by an average of 10.92 points per game. Like, good teams sometimes show you who they are when they just go out there and they not only perform to expectations, but exceed those expectations. So Alabama, Ole Miss did not. Interestingly enough, though, and this is a really funny gripe, if I'm to use that same statistic, Indiana 1, Arizona State 2, Notre Dame 3. Do you know who's number 4?
Oregon.
The South Carolina Gamecocks.
Yeah, I thought South Carolina was looking. They looked like
South
a playoff
Carolina's
team to me.
Good football team.
Yeah, they are.
South Carolina was like South Carolina had the head-to-head losses to Alabama and Ole Miss. They were never going to get in because of it. But if you were to throw South Carolina into this college football playoff, that could be a problem.
I actually argued that had Clemson beaten South Carolina, especially if Miami had lost, I thought Clemson deserved a spot. But you and I were discussing Clemson versus Indiana, and you are as pro-Indiana as a section of Hurricanes fans are pro-Jesperi Kotkaniemi. And I'm going to leave that alone right there. That's Chip Patterson.
I mean, it's just, I guess now that Drury's going to be out for a while, that means KK gets bumped up, right?
Oh, yeah, no, he's going to major opportunity for him to prove his worth. Big time.
Hey, here's like you never wish for someone else's downfall, but you're out of the doghouse now because you have to be.
Correct.
And so,
yeah, we need the doghouse for somebody else. You have to play now. Yeah.
You have to play now. Yeah, that second period was stinky. I was very happy to see. I was very happy to see something that looked a little bit more like, as the boys in the locker room call it, their game.
Yeah.
A little bit closer to their game there in the third.
No, the third was their game. It was very representative of Hurricanes hockey. We just flow so easily. Well, maybe we'll work golf in next week. Chip, you are my friend. I appreciate your time.
Sounds good. Y'all be well.
Gosh, it's the best. Chip Patterson here on the Adam Gold Show. We have not had an official word yet, correct?
No, I've been tracking X, and so far I've just been going to Inside Carolina for my source, and we have not got anything other than what we heard 38 minutes ago, where they released a story breaking UNC finalizing a deal to land Bill Belichick as new football coach. I can do some research during the commercial break, but as of now, nothing has changed from what we reported before Chip Patterson joined the program.
All right, so right now we're still in a holding pattern, but when we return, we will stretch and we will give you 3 definitive winners each as we place bets next.
Serving it up hot and fresh every day. Adam Gold on the North Carolina Sports Network.
Trust ACT Construction Equipment and Bandit Wood Chippers and Stump Grinders to position your tree service for success. ACT Construction Equipment is your authorized dealer for sales, service, parts, and rentals for Bandit Wood Chippers and Stump Grinders. ACT Construction Equipment has been your authorized dealer for Bandit equipment for over 10 years. Visit one of our 6 North and South Carolina locations or actce.com for more details on Bandit Wood Chippers and Stump Grinders. ACT Construction Equipment, always the right equipment for the job.
Open enrollment for health insurance is here, but don't worry. North Carolina Farm Bureau Insurance has you covered for all your health insurance needs, including Medicare. And with offices in every county, a trusted, experienced agent is just around the corner, ready to help find a plan that's right for you. Visit ncfbins.com or stop by your local office today. North Carolina Farm Bureau Insurance, helping you is what we do best.
Healthcare.gov has plans for health because you have plans for life. All plans cover doctor visits and emergency care to keep you and your family running strong. All plans cover hospital stays and prescriptions so you can have peace of mind. Visit healthcare.gov to explore health plans from the brands you know. 4 out of 5 customers can find a health plan for $10 or less per month with financial help. Enroll at healthcare.gov by December 15th for coverage starting January 1st. Paid for by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services.
As fall championships begin, the Governor's Highway Safety Program would like to remind you to buckle your seatbelt when traveling home from today's events. Whether you're driving out of town or across town this holiday season, wearing a seatbelt is your best defense against injury or death in a crash. During the busiest time of travel, prioritize your safety and buckle up. Every seat, every time. And remember, click it or ticket. It's the law. This message brought to you by the North Carolina High School Athletic Association and the Governor's Highway Safety Program.
As public power customers, we experience fewer outages and faster restoration than customers of other electric providers. But the benefits of having a locally owned electric system go far beyond unbeaten reliability. Our local public power employees support our community, providing electric hookups for events, installing and maintaining ballpark lights, holiday lights, traffic lights, street lights, and more. Local people working together to meet local needs. That's the value of public power. Learn more at electricities.com.
It's that time of year when we pack our bags for exciting adventures with friends and family. So make sure you don't have to cancel on those you love the most by getting your flu and COVID vaccines. They're safe and effective. Both flu and COVID vaccines have been updated. So make sure you don't miss that flight and protect those around you. Ask your healthcare provider for your updated flu and COVID-19 shots. Don't wait. Get your updated shots today.
Get protected this season with updated COVID-19 and flu shots. Visit myspot.nc.gov and find yours today.
When it comes to making plans, you are the best. What about those round trips that you plan in advance, which are perfect on your way there and perfect on your way back? Or those meetings with friends for which you make a group chat 3 months before so that nobody or anything is missing? Or your daughter's first birthday party. You planned it with such dedication that instead of the first, it felt like our 15s. The same way you plan each detail for those moments. Start planning to protect you and your loved ones from a natural disaster. Sign up for local weather and emergency alerts. Prepare an emergency kit and make a family communications plan. Protecting your family is the best plan you can make. Get started at ready.gov/plan.
Brought to you by FEMA and the Ad Council.
This is is Adam Gold.
We don't need Al Roker in a suit doing yoga.
No.
And Al, to his credit, recognized that and said, you know what? I am not getting into Warrior 2.
I'm stopping at Downward Dog.
There will be no, he didn't get to that. Like, heck no.
The Adam Gold Show.
It's the Adam Gold Show. I am Adam Gold. Graham Hill on the ones and twos sitting in for Victoria today. Are you playing this because Bill Belichick once spurned the New York Jets? He was head coach for a day.
That was not my intention. I was just trying to have Elton John relax me a little bit because all of a sudden the show's kicked into a no-huddle offense, and we keep looking to the sidelines waiting for play calls.
Oh, no, I get him.
But
I call my own plays.
I'll take claim to that. Yeah. I'll take claim for that.
I call my own plays. All right, we got a lot to do. We still have to place bets, but first we have to stretch.
Yes, for a second, I didn't even know if I would even have to just throw the whole show script away. But we will just break for just a second. And while we do that, I just want to talk about Netflix's Christmas NFL Studio Cast that's been officially announced. Of course, NFL's Christmas Day doubleheader just weeks away. Get your holiday gifts, folks. The streamers' coverage plans are continuing to come into focus. That includes a star-studded studio show, which is set to be hosted by Kay Adams and includes a panel featuring Robert Griffin III, Drew Brees, Mina Kimes, and Manti Te'o. Front Office Sports' Michael McCarthy reported on.
Manti Te'o is doing.
Manti Te'o.
Right?
Excuse me for mispronouncing his name. Sorry. Yes, Manti Te'o will be part of the panel as well. Per McCarthy, the studio show will provide both pregame and postgame analysis for Netflix's doubleheader featuring the Kansas City Chiefs versus the Pittsburgh Steelers and the Baltimore Ravens versus the Houston Texans. Streamers' coverage will emanate from Los Angeles, where one of Netflix's two headquarters are located. While Adams, Brees, and Kimes have all previously been linked to Netflix's NFL debut via reports, this marks the first reporting regarding Griffin's role in the coverage. The assignment will also serve as the 2011 Heisman Trophy winner's return to formal NFL coverage after he was surprisingly laid off by ESPN in a cost-cutting move ahead of the 2024 season. Adam, I'm happy that Robert Griffin's back for this. Are you?
I like Robert Griffin. I think he was not a good broadcaster.
Oh.
So,
provided some humorous moments, at least.
Did he? Intentionally humorous moments? I'm not sure. I'm not sure.
Running with Dabo down the hill.
Okay, I'll give him that.
I don't know. I've always just been I grew up watching Robert Griffin III.
He was an amazing player at Baylor.
One of the franchise quarterbacks that I remember growing up watching from Baylor to his time in the Commanders. And I kind of hate to see him go, but I might just be in the rare clubhouse. But
you might be.
NFL's doubleheader coverage on Christmas Day. If they can get coverage, they are going to. And that's all I have. Let's get some bets.
Place your bets. Place your bets. Here. I bet you slice into the woods $100.
Gambling is illegal at Bushwood, sir, and I never slide.
Okay, you can owe me. I owe you nothing.
All right, sir. I got them all wrong yesterday.
I want to apologize because I feel like a majority of the time that I fill in for Victoria, I always go with minus value, and that's no fun. So I did some researching, and we're going to go with plus value today for all of our bets. Going to sprinkle in some NBA and NHL. First things first, Golden State Warriors at the Houston Rockets. Give me Danny Green, Tar Heel, over 2.5 first quarter points at plus 112. Has hit in 4 of his last 4 games.
All right, here's what we got. The NBA Cup tonight. The second set of quarterfinal matches are tonight. Hawks are at the Knicks. I think the Knicks are going to win the game, but the Hawks, especially Trae Young, they love playing at the Garden. So give me the Hawks plus 8. I think the Rockets are legit good. I think they're going to beat the Warriors. It's only 2 points. So parlay the Hawks plus the 8 and the Rockets minus the 2. That's plus 261.
I'm also going with a wager from the Atlanta Hawks and New York Knicks game. Give me Miles Bridges over 1.5 first-quarter rebounds at plus 159. This has hit in 5 of his last 5 games just against the Hawks.
Really?
Yeah, likes to crash the boards against the Hawks, apparently. I don't know what it is for Miles Bridges, but we'll take that.
I will tell you this much. Karl Anthony Towns has been amazing. Absolutely amazing. All right, I'm going to go to Champions League.
All right.
We got Champions League football today. There's some absolute great matchups. Dortmund, home to Barca. You've got Arsenal playing at home to Monaco. Monaco's really good. This is not going to be an easy one. But we're going to go with Juventus, home to Man City. And Juventus has 2 draws in 5 Champions League matches already and 9 in 15 Serie A matches. This is an easy one. Juve, at home to Man City. That's a draw, plus 270. They draw all the time.
For my last 2, why not just parlay them as I hit the ice? New York Rangers versus Buffalo Sabres. I'm going to go Jason Zucker, anytime assist, plus 190.
He's still in the league?
Apparently so. And then the Anaheim Ducks and the Ottawa Senators. Give me Brady Tkachuk over 4.5 shots on goal, plus 100. That's plus 290 on the value. Why not?
All right. This is a future. Next year's national champion in college football, the University of North Carolina, plus 10,000 with head coach Bill Belichick. I completely made that up.
Going beyond the box scores. Adam Gold on the North Carolina Sports Network.
Hey, it's Adam Gold from my friends down at Diamonds Direct Crabtree. How about this? I'm not sure you're aware, but the holidays are coming. That's right. And it is time, frankly, it's past time that you went down to Diamonds Direct Crabtree and shopped and got her exactly what she wants. She hasn't told you yet, but she has left magazines open strategically around the house. And now it's time for you to go get exactly what she wants and pay dramatically less for it, because at Diamonds Direct Crabtree, there is no middleman markup. You're buying directly from the diamond manufacturers, so it's like having an uncle in the diamond business. I keep telling you, Uncle Barack has you covered. Best customer service in the industry, the best selection you have ever seen, and the best diamond and fine gemstone jewelry on planet Earth. Diamonds Direct Crabtree for the holidays or any day. Diamonds Direct Crabtree can be found online, diamondsdirect.com, or on Glenwood Avenue in front of Crabtree Valley Mall in Raleigh.
Introducing a product that redefines living well.
Luxury.
Designed to satisfy your wildest desires.
Extravagance.
Overflowing with suspense, dripping with wealth.
Fortune.
The $8 million moneymaker from the North Carolina Education Lottery. With prices that start at $100 and go up to $8 million. Every win's a big win.
Whisper.
Must be 18 to play. Approximate overall odds of winning are 1 in 4.14. Problem gambling helpline 877-718-5543.
During the Ram Wrap-Up the Year sales event, take advantage of huge deals on a wide selection of built-to-serve Ram trucks. And right now, finance and get $8,500 total cash allowance on the 2025 Ram 1500 Bighorn Crew Cab. Go to ram.com and hurry to your local Ram dealer for $8,500 total cash allowance on the 2025 Ram 1500 Bighorn Crew Cab. Hurry to the Ram Wrap-Up the Year sales event today. Financing for well-qualified buyers through Stellantis Financial. Not all customers will qualify. Residency restrictions apply. Take delivery by 1/2/25.
Experience a Raleigh tradition. Head to Amedio's Italian Restaurant, a family favorite for over 60 years. From weekly specials to their famous homemade recipes, Amedio's uses only the freshest ingredients. Need a touchdown for your tailgate? Amedio's offers delicious takeout, perfect for cheering on the Wolfpack. Or they can host your private party. Amedio's even caters. Amedio's Italian Restaurant, Raleigh's Taste of Italy since 1963. Visit Amedio'sRestaurant.com for details.
Looking for great holiday gift ideas for the golfer in your life? Head to Global Golf's annual holiday shopping event Friday, December 14th, 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. Shop great deals on the year's hottest clubs from TaylorMade, Callaway, and Ping. Plus, get a free gift with any pre-owned purchase of $200 or more. Global Golf is home of the best deals in golf, so don't miss our annual holiday shopping event Friday, December 14th, 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. Global Golf, located in North Raleigh, 7320 ACC Boulevard.
It's Tim Donnelly for Window Nation. It's Window Nation's end-of-the-year sale. Get 50% off all styles of windows and a bonus 10% off. Plus, you could get 0 interest for 6 years. Sale ends December 31st, so book a quote at 866-90Nation or at windownation.com.
Martha was ready to switch to a career in IT.
There's always a need for IT specialists, especially with AI coming out and cybersecurity. It's practically recession-proof.
My Computer Career even provides job placement help.
The career specialists, they're very helpful. They care about you as a person. You're not just a number to them. I would recommend My Computer Career wholeheartedly to anyone.
Take the free career evaluation today. Become an IT pro in just months with 0 experience at mycomputercareer.edu. Not available in Washington State.
This hour of the Triangle Sports Leader is powered by Ritchie Law Firm, injury lawyers. Ritchie Law is on top of it. Go to ritchielaw.com.
That's ritchielaw.com.
WCMC HD1 Holly Springs. Take us with you on the radio, Instagram, TikTok, Alexa, and YouTube. 99.9 The Fan, the Triangle Sports Leader.
This is the Adam Gold Show.
Handoff Scattaboo over the left side of the offensive line. Spins over one defender. Breaks through another. And here he goes to the 40. Far side numbers at the 30. He's to the 20. And down he goes. All the way to the 19-yard line. 53 more yards for Cam Scattaboo.
I said 50 yards, right? I was not expecting him to get 53 yards on one play. Cam Scattaboo, you're an animal.
Levitt in the shotgun. He's got Scattaboo to his left. 3-step drop. Fires Scattaboo in the flat to the 35, the 30. He's up the sideline. He's gone. 10, 5, and it's a 33-yard touchdown for Cam Scattaboo. He strikes the Heisman pose once again. He simply cannot stop finding himself in the end zone.
It's the Adam Gold Show. I am Adam Gold. Victoria on assignment. Graham Hill in the DJ booth. I'm going to do a wall of sound here in a minute. Although we might just be kind of talking through some of the news of the day. Bottom of the hour, the brand new head coach at App State, Dowell Loggains, will join us. We'll talk about, get into a little bit of the changing landscape of the sport. You know, more of because he's got a pro background. He's only like super new to the college game. 2 years at Arkansas, 2 years at South Carolina, and now the head coach at App. But before then, it was the Bears, the Broncos, not the Broncos, the Bears, the Browns, the Jets. Wow. He came out on the other side, Graham. He survived the Jets.
Yeah, that's the biggest one right there. Not even the Chicago Bears. He had Mike Glennon with him, at least, during his tenure with the Chicago Bears.
That is, I asked Mike that when they were in here recording the Pack Therapy podcast. I asked Mike that. So we'll ask him about Mike Glennon coming up a little bit later on. Anyway, that's at the bottom of the hour. Elliot Johnson's going to join us in just a little bit, and we'll go through the Juan Soto deal, what else is going on regarding free agency in Major League Baseball, winter meetings ongoing right now. And I want to ask him if he would be down for the Golden at Bat, which, I mean, for people who don't know, essentially, without getting into the details, once a game, you would be allowed to send up whoever you wanted, whether he was due up or not, whether he was already in the lineup or not. Like, if he's on your bench and he's not entered the game, you can do that now. It's simply called a pinch hitter. But if somebody is in your lineup, you can take your best hitter. If he's not due up in the 8th inning and you've got 2 on and 2 outs, and you go, you know what? I really wish I could have Juan Soto hit here, you can do that in a golden at bat. I'll ask Elliot Johnson about that in a little bit. But as we kind of run through all the stuff that has happened today, and there's been a lot, it appears, according to Inside Carolina, and I've read the story on their site, that the University of North Carolina and Bill Belichick are right now in the process of hammering out an agreement, like legitimately hammering out an agreement, finalizing a deal, to use their terminology, to make Bill Belichick the new football coach at the University of North Carolina. So this is where we are in college football, Graham. Bill Belichick, arguably the greatest coach in the history of the sport of football, and the number one target in the transfer portal, Darian Mensah, quarterback formerly of Tulane, suggesting that Duke is a place where he believes they can win. He could have gone anywhere, and he chose Duke. What's going on? Maybe they just love us here in the Triangle.
I was just about to say, I just love covering the Triangle teams every once in a while because, of course, Bill Belichick is going to be coming to Carolina, and I'm going to have to go to media availabilities next year with him in attendance.
Do you think that'll be fun?
Oh, it will definitely be entertaining.
I don't know.
If he even has media availabilities.
No, he'll have them. He'll have them. There's no question about it. So if they do make this announcement, we'll get somebody on from Boston who covered the Patriots and find out how much fun those were.
I just can't wait for Bill Belichick to make his first appearance on this great program, the Adam Gold Show.
He's not going to come on,
and I have to troubleshoot his Airlink issues. That's going to be fun.
He can handle that.
That's going to be fun to talk through.
He goes out with McAfee all the time.
That's true.
He's a smart man. Here's the thing. I brought this up last week. What I want to see from Belichick is the first ACC media day he attends.
Oh.
If he actually attends. I know it's a requirement. If he attends, I want to see, I talked about this yesterday in the program. I've talked about it with Andy Staples. We bantered back and forth about this because I floated this Saturday of last week, when the news became like they're talking to him. I can't be the only one to imagine an ACC media day in Charlotte where some ACC intern is walking Bill around to the 9 radio interviews that he has been scheduled for. All right, we're taking you to a station from Fayetteville, North Carolina. Then we're bringing you to Myrtle Beach. Then there's the ACC Hillbillies podcast in Paducah, Kentucky. Like all of that, and Bill's just going to go, no.
Okay.
No. Not doing that. Not doing that.
I could see it where, as you get it, kind of is, what was the word? It's not recommended. It is a priority to attend the ACC kickoff days. I could see it where rather than doing hits with the local radio stations, I could see him just doing his panel where he gives his introductory speech.
Oh, no, he'll do the podium.
Yeah, he'll do the podium.
But he ain't coming around to sit with the local, 8 different radio stations and podcasts. Not going to do that. That is not going to happen. He'll maybe because he has a relationship with ESPN, he would do the ACC network set.
Yep, the ACC huddle.
Maybe, right? No, like he'll hang out with Mark Richt. I'm sure they've had some sort of relationship. Here's the thing. The serious note. My understanding is that Belichick and Dave Doran have a fairly good relationship. Right? There is a mutual respect. I think they appreciated in New England the way Dave Doran at NC State prepared players for the NFL.
Well, remember Jacoby Myers, one of the great standout wide receivers at State, went on to play for the New England Patriots. I think Joe Tooney was drafted.
Myers, for about 3 years, was New England's best wide receiver, right? And he was a good wide receiver here, but I don't think there was really anybody that saw, good NFL wide receiver in his future. I think they saw, well, maybe he can stick on a roster, play some special teams, but He was a legitimately good wide receiver for the Patriots, ended up signing a pretty big free agent contract. So Belichick and the University of North Carolina, just to kind of, first of all, I didn't realize this. His dad was an assistant at North Carolina in the 50s.
Yep. You've seen the photo now.
I have not seen the photo, but I read about it. Again, I was reading Adam Smith's piece in IC, and so it references that. I'll tell you what, the one thing I would talk to Coach Belichick about, see if he wants to talk lacrosse. He loves lacrosse.
Also, as local media members, I think it's fair. We can give a hat tip to everybody over at Inside Carolina. Adam Smith, Brendan Marks, I know The Athletic was on the drive with Tim Donnelly yesterday, Tommy Ashley, all doing a tremendous job right now of keeping us in the loop.
Yeah, Brendan and Ralph Russo's piece in The Athletic yesterday was dynamite. Absolutely dynamite. So, hey, look, we got to get information from as many places as we can. And there's a lot of really, really good reporting out there. There's a reason why why Brendan Marks was named the North Carolina Sports Writer of the Year last year.
Yep.
There's a reason for it. I mean, he's legitimately good. This isn't even necessarily his beat. He's a basketball guy, but he also has information.
All hands on deck with a situation like this.
So, real quick about Belichick before we break him, Elliot Johnson's going to join us on the other side. Initially, go back to 5 days from now, 5 days ago, and what was the reaction from people? Because I know just how when I retweeted it, I was just like, wow, if this could happen, I have no idea if this is even a possibility, but it says something about the quality of the position. I mean, it could. We don't really know what it says. And, of course, the reaction was negative towards UNC, which I understand. I'm not criticizing looking at this as a negative towards UNC if you wanted to spin it, because I think you could. But the more you think about this, the more you think about the future of college football, of college athletics, you have to come to the conclusion that, man, we got no idea. We have no idea if this is going to be a good hire or not. I thought the beginning of the conversation about this with Chip Patterson, which was the first thing we talked about today, I think it's a great look at what this could be, what this couldn't be. We just don't know. He talked about it being basically risky, and it is risky. There are no sure things in this world. Hell, if Bill became the head coach of the Dallas Cowboys, there's no guarantee they'd be good. There just are no guarantees these days. You just don't know. But I am not ready to rule out that this wouldn't be a great hire. I'm just not. It could be. It could put North Carolina in a place where they have never been before. A destination college football job. I'm not saying it will. I'm just saying we don't know. It could. All right, we're going to take a break. We'll come back. Elliot Johnson, former big leaguer, on a $765 million contract for Juan Soto, which could actually grow bigger and no deferred money. Plus the golden at bat. I want to get his thoughts on that. Next.
Raleigh to Boone, Charlotte to Chapel Hill. Your Carolina is covered. Adam Gold on the North Carolina Sports Network.
Hey, it's Adam Gold, and do you have a late-night craving for in-depth analysis on the Carolina Hurricanes and their latest game, their latest win, their pursuit of the Stanley Cup? Well, I can quench your thirst. I can feed that appetite on the Canes Corner podcast, the morning after edition, which drops the morning after every Hurricanes game. Get it wherever you get your podcast. Brought to you by the Aluminum Company of North Carolina. Is the week getting you down already? It's only Wednesday. You know what today is? It's Hump Day, and FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook, has you covered. It's the Hump Day Parlays Reward Stack. in the FanDuel app. You can find it there. You get a profit boost on parlays, everything from spreads to totals, even player props. Don't let the weekends have all the fun. Let's make Wednesday the hump day parlays reward stack you've been waiting for. FanDuel.com/Adam Gold. FanDuel.com/Adam Gold. It's an NBA Cup night as well. Make every moment more with FanDuel, official sportsbook partner of the NBA. 21 and over and present in North Carolina. Opt-in required. Max wager amount applies. Bonuses issued as non-withdrawable profit boost tokens. Restrictions apply, including token expiration. See terms for both offers at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 877-718-5543 or visit morethanagame.nc.gov.
It's bow time. 'Tis the season for food and family, but thanks to Bojangles, you don't have to spend hours in the kitchen when loved ones come home for the holidays. Set down the spatula and put away the mixing bowls, because this holiday season, Bojangles is ready to help you celebrate with all your family favorites like Chicken Supreme, Cajun Filet Biscuits, or a big bow box of hand-breaded chicken, scratch-made biscuits, and fixins for the whole family. We'll make the food so you can focus on making memories. Head to Bojangles and gift yourself a taste of home. It's bow time.
If it's ho-ho-ho time, it's Bo-Bo-Bo time. Time to order a party-sized platter of that bodacious Bojangles flavor before your next holiday celebration. Choose a Bojangles Supremes platter and get 50 whole breast tenderloin fillets. Or go with a Bojangles dessert platter and get 2 dozen Bo-Berry biscuits, 2 dozen cinnamon twists, or 1 dozen of each. It's a platter full of Bo-liciousness. And don't forget to pick up Bojangles gift cards. Just the right gift for anyone on your list. Hurry, it's Bo time.
Welcome to the North Carolina Education Lottery Winners Club Aromatherapy Room. Our first scent is the essence of this month's scratch-offs.
I'm getting notes of anticipation mingled with cold hard cash.
Anyone else?
Oh, is that tilapia?
Sorry, that's my lunch.
New Diamond 10X and Lotteria are here. The Winners Club awaits. Must be 18 to play. Approximate overall odds of winning range from 1 in 3.99 to 4.23. Problem gambling helpline 877-718-5543.
Will you make the right call? Time's running out, pressure's on, and you need your roof replaced. Hi, I'm Holly from RoofWorks. It's 4th and goal, and the decision's in your hands. The competition can't stop you. You're about to score the game winner. We've trained for years for this moment to raise the roof for you. So avoid the noise and put us in the game. Call RoofWorks today or visit us online at roofworks.com. That's roof, WERKS.com.
Okay, I have to tell you, I was just looking on eBay where I go for all kinds of things I love, and there it was.
That hologram trading card. One of the rarest, the last one I needed for my set. Shiny like the
designer handbag of my dreams. One of a kind. eBay had it, and now everyone's asking, ooh, where'd you get your
windshield wipers? eBay has all the parts that fit my car. No more annoying, just beautiful.
Whatever you love, find it on eBay. eBay. Things people love.
This is Adam Gold.
I'm definitely, if I had my choice, I'd say I'd go with the real tree. Just the whole thing, it just brings up what Christmas is all about. I kind of enjoy that, but we're no longer doing that.
I am a real tree, and then last year my wife threw a curveball at me and we had an artificial tree, and I didn't like it.
The Adam Gold Show.
It's the Adam Gold Show. I am Adam Gold. Graham Hill on the ones and twos. It's been a crazy day. Bill Belichick might be the UNC head football coach. Not kidding. We'll keep you up to date on that. According to Inside Carolina, they are finalizing a deal for him to become the head coach. Duke is apparently the top destination out of the transfer portal in football. What? We haven't even talked about basketball yet. Maybe we'll get to that before we get out of here today. But it happened. It happened, I believe, Monday. Juan Soto, 765 million reasons to sign with the New York Mets. My friend Elliot Johnson, who, like me, made the mistake of not being a 26-year-old five-tool Dominican right fielder. This was an error in judgment on our part because I think we'd be set. Maybe we wouldn't even be discussing this today. How are you, sir?
Awesome, man. I mean, what I'm feeling even better about, Adam, is when Shohei did his $700 million deal, you asked me, is there somebody else you think should get it? And Soto was the player that I came up with.
Yep.
And so if anybody's going to get 765, then it's definitely going to be him. So think about the timing, the ability for him to have a auction with the Yankees and the basically the residue of the boss, where he won't be outbid ever. And now, Uncle Steve, to obviously his beloved fan group, as everybody's calling him, was not going to be outbid for Juan Soto's services. So everybody's going to complain about this contract later on. I understand they did it to Pujols. They'll do it to Soto. But if anybody's deserving, it's Soto. If you look at what he's been able to do in his track record at this point, he's very much deserving of it because he's been really underpaid relative to his output for the call it the first 6 years of his career.
Well, you and I have discussed this before about the salary structures of Major League Baseball. Teams have figured out, like they have done in the NFL too, and trying to get the most out of players when they're on rookie deals. Teams are not afraid now to call guys up earlier than they would. No sense seasoning them. Hey, can you come to the big leagues and help us now because you're cheap at this point. We don't have to wait. We don't have to let you ease your way in. No, we're going to use you right now. And Juan Soto, I mean, at age 26, this was his age 25 season. So he's going into his age 26 season at the start of a 15-year deal. And I know 15 years grew. What is he going to do at 41? Who cares what he's doing at 41? What I really care about is the first 6 or 7 years of this deal if I'm a Mets fan. What happens beyond that, first of all, who knows if baseball will even exist. We might be wholly owned and operated by the People's Republic of China in 8 or 9 years. But the numbers that he put up with the Yankees last year, 41 home runs, 109 runs batted in, 989 OPS. The numbers that he put up the year before in San Diego, which was called kind of a down year. Only 35 home runs and 109 runs batted in. He walked 132 times, an OPS of just 930. That guy who's also an outstanding outfielder and a good teammate, I mean, it's the easiest contract in the world to sign.
Wow. I mean, it was a tough deal for anyone else to offer, but an easy deal for him to sign.
Do you think it's tough for anybody else to offer? Like other teams, they didn't want to. But couldn't other teams have offered this?
Of course. But you know as well as I do, Adam. I mean, there's a Scrooge index out on the internet right now where everyone can go in there. And Uncle Steve is paying 102% of his team revenues to the payroll.
Right.
I think the rate dead last at 32% of their revenues to payroll. So they can do it. They're choosing not to. And, just to make it even more unsavory for Yankees fans, the Yankees were unwilling to accommodate his request to pay for a suite for him and his family at Yankee Stadium, whereas the Mets were much obliged to be able to do so.
I mean, Steve Cohen would give him the guest house. Like you can stay at the house. I mean, I'll live in the guest house. You come and you stay in the main house. Look, Steve Cohen said it in the locker room last year after one of the Mets celebrations. I mean, his plan is to eliminate the stigma of being the Mets. And they have signed free agents before. It has not always gone well. So obviously the joke out there is I can't wait to see how this goes wrong. And it might. There's no guarantees in free agency.
Sure.
But this, of all the players that the Mets have signed, they haven't signed a single player going into his prime. And that's what Soto technically going into his age 26 season. He's going into his prime. Usually you get him like in the middle or at the end of his prime. This is heading into it. This could be, I mean, again, we don't know how it's going to go, but I love it. What do you think of, Elliot Johnson is joining us, former big leaguer at Elliot Johnson 9, but he never tweets. What do you think of the fact that none of this money, zero, is deferred?
Well, I think that was like a non-starter, it sounds like, from his camp. I don't think that they were willing to do it because I think that they want money in the bank now. If I'm reading the tea leaves, too, a little bit more, Adam, I won't go into it too much, but Scott Boras is his agent. He's getting older. I would imagine that he probably isn't interested in a deal that's going to extend past his 100th birthday. So that's something that, I don't think anybody else is thinking about these things, but probably just the stuff that goes on between my ears. But that might have something to do with it, might not. But also I think that from, getting dollars in his pocket today versus deferring it out, I don't think that he's getting as much endorsement income as Shohei is, because
right.
Shohei is such a national star. The Japanese market for off-field endorsement is a whole lot more ripe for opportunity than the Dominican Republic. It just is what it is. So that's part of it too. But I think Uncle Steve was more than happy to provide the $51 million of AAV, given that he's in his prime years. They're going to win. Probably, they've got 6-7 years of prime production from Soto. So it's still a really good deal for the guy, and obviously the Mets are expecting to win. I love it.
Yeah, but by the way, you mentioned Ohtani and the endorsement market in Japan. There's a reason why Naomi Osaka it makes she obviously is a wonderful tennis player. Her prime is probably over at this point simply because she has not stayed on as active on tour, but she made all of the money in Japan. The way the Japanese public treats their athletic stars, they're beyond superstars. They're beyond athletes. They build statues and name cities after them, whether it's Hideki Matsuyama, the golfer who won the Masters, or Shohei Ohtani. Ohtani's probably the most famous person in all of Japan. I don't even think it's close. They're probably not even a number two.
That's why I think the World Baseball Classic is such a great game, or a great thing for the game, Adam, because Japan winning, it hurts, right? Because we all have national pride and we all expect to win. Baseball's our sport. But Japan winning, think of the next generation of Ohtanis that are coming in 10, 15, 20 years because of it. And you can't mistake that Ichiro didn't inspire Ohtani to be the player he became. So I'm excited about it. I think it's great for the game overall because we want the best players to come here to play because it makes the product better. We don't care where you come from. We just want the best. And it really doesn't matter how big you are. Look at Altuve. The guy can really play. And, I think that was one of the more funny Halloween costumes I've seen was an Aaron Judge and his son was with 3 was being Altuve that year, So I think that's what's great about our game. You don't need to be these, enormous figures, in stature. You just need to be good at baseball. You need to have good hand-eye coordination. You've got to work hard, all those different things that make baseball great. So I'm excited to see what ends up happening and how it extends. I think that the Dominican Republic's going to continue to pour out players regardless of Soto signing this deal. But the World Baseball Classic has been a huge win for the game globally. All
right, the final thing before we have to say goodbye to Elliot Johnson. By the way, App State football coach Dowell Loggains is coming up on the other side. The golden at-bat that Rob Manfred floated, I don't know. I heard it on a podcast with John Oran from Puck News, podcast called The Varsity. And I was I sort of dismissed it, and then it became a major story. And is it fair? And for those people who don't know, golden at bat means even if you are in the lineup, if it is not your turn to bat once a game, given certain situations, a manager can simply say, I want my best hitter to come up here. I know he just batted three batters ago, but I want him up here again. And you can do that once a game. Is it okay to both hate it and love it at the same time?
Yeah, I think you can love the idea of what that means, but I don't think that it makes any sense whatsoever. Again, I point back to, and of course you knew I was going to hate this, Adam, because we always have these, like, the steroid era was such a black eye on the game because the sanctity of the game and the records that help.
Right, the records.
Ted Williams, George Brett, all of these individuals, amazing players from yesteryear, that built this game to be what it is. And we're going to take away the opportunity. Here, let's do the most unique situation that's ever occurred in the history of the game when Fernando Tatis Sr. hit 2 grand slams in the same games in the same inning.
Yep.
Okay. So he comes up, and what are we going to do? We're gonna replace him with because he was with the Cardinals. So Mark McGuire would have taken his at-bat both of those times in that instance. Why would we do that?
Well, he could have done it, but you can only do it once. You can only do it once. He wouldn't have done it twice.
Okay, so you can only so he does. So McGuire does it, but then we don't ever have that, for example. Okay, Adam. So I don't like it. It's a team game. If you didn't get your grand slam the first time, you don't get second shots. You don't get a let's play it back with another out added on. That doesn't make any sense whatsoever. I like the idea because you want your best player in that spot. I mean, it's just like, when you're playing wiffle ball in the backyard, there's 2 outs in the bottom of the 9th and you go through all that stuff. Well, it's 1 out in the bottom of the 9th and then you get out. Oh, I get the golden at bat. And so I get to do a second run at it. That makes no sense. You had your shot, move on. The pitcher got the best of you. Now it's up to your teammate to come through for you. So I absolutely don't like it.
So that, again, I can't disagree with that because as a baseball purist from way back, I hate it. But at the same time, and I am legitimately conflicted by this, like if they institute it because they're going to do what they want to do, I won't hate it because I think it has the potential to be so cool. Every other sport, I can have LeBron James have the ball, unless he's fouled out, at the end of the game. I can put, Martin Necas on the ice as long as he hasn't been ejected from the game. I can use my best players in the most critical situations. I can control that. The only sport that you can't control it, although you can with a pitcher for the most part, is baseball. And I understand that. I understand how cool it would be. But at the same time, I get it. I understand why we hate it. I do, and I do have to go, but I am curious. Baseball is the only sport in which innovation is completely, you can't do it. We randomly decided that, at 22 feet 9 inches, a basketball shot is going to be worth 3 points. We just randomly decided that. What if we had a home run that traveled over 450 feet? That's worth 2 runs.
Interesting. The point that you bring up, I'll say this about, and we talked about this, I think, a couple of summers ago, Adam, but the addition of the pitch clock, I hated it. I hated the idea. I hated having, that it's a timeless game. I have absolutely loved the addition of the pitch clock. It's been wonderful for the game. Absolutely fantastic. It's been remarkable. So I'll give credit where it's due for Manfred and the boys at the MLB offices. But this is not what we want. We don't want to change. We don't want to change the way the game is played. We don't want to change the team sport nature here because you're taking away an at bat from a Major League Baseball player. Maybe he's not an uber star like Shohei or Soto, but he's still a Major League Baseball player, okay?
I get
it. And he's the best person for the spot at that individual time because if there was somebody better for that spot, they would be wearing that uniform and they would be in that position when their turn at bat came up. So that's what I'll say about that, Adam.
You're the man. I appreciate your time, Elliot. Take care.
Pleasure as always.
You got it. Elliot Johnson here on the Adam Gold Show. When we come back, App's new head coach, Dowell Loggains. Next.
Raleigh to Boone, Charlotte to Chapel Hill. Your Carolina is covered. Adam Gold on the North Carolina Sports Network.
When it comes to health, we're all on our own journey. Our challenges aren't always visible to those around us. You may be living with aches and pains, fatigue, shortness of breath, or other symptoms that make it difficult to manage everyday life. These problems can be the result of a variety of conditions, including long COVID, which 1 in 5 adults who've had COVID-19 may develop, according to the CDC. When symptoms linger, they could lead to feelings of isolation, but you don't have to go through it alone. For challenges like these, physical therapy is the solution. Physical therapists are the licensed healthcare providers moving you to better health. They can improve your quality of life through hands-on care, patient education, and prescribed movement. No matter where you are on your health journey, your physical therapist and physical therapist assistant can help. When we work together, we feel better together. So choose more movement. Choose better health. Choose physical therapy. Visit ChoosePT.com to find a physical therapist near you or ask your primary care provider for a referral. This message is provided by the American Physical Therapy Association.
It's that time of year. We can't wait to visit our loved ones. Don't let COVID-19 and the flu stop you. So make sure you don't have to cancel on those you love the most by getting your flu and COVID vaccines. Both flu and COVID vaccines have been updated to fight against the new virus strains that will continue to spread this fall and winter. Don't wait. Get your updated shots today.
Get protected this season with updated COVID-19 and flu shots. Visit myspot.nc.gov and find yours today.
Healthcare.gov has plans for health because you have plans for life. All plans cover doctor visits and emergency care to keep you and your family running strong. All plans cover hospital stays and prescriptions so you can have peace of mind. Visit healthcare.gov to explore health plans from the brands you know. 4 out of 5 customers can find a health plan for $10 or less per month with financial help. Enroll at healthcare.gov by December 15th for coverage starting January 1st. Paid for by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services.
Open enrollment for health insurance is here, but don't worry. North Carolina Farm Bureau Insurance has you covered for all your health insurance needs, including Medicare. And with offices in every county, a trusted, experienced agent is just around the corner, ready to help find a plan that's right for you. Visit ncfbins.com or stop by your local office today. North Carolina Farm Bureau Insurance, helping you is what we do best.
As public power customers, we experience fewer outages and faster restoration than customers of other electric providers. But the benefits of having a locally owned electric system go far beyond unbeaten reliability. Our local public power employees support our community, providing electric hookups for events, installing and maintaining ballpark lights, holiday lights, traffic lights, street lights, and more. Local people working together to meet local needs. That's the value of public power. Learn more at electricities.com.
As fall championships begin, the Governor's Highway Safety Program would like to remind you to buckle your seatbelt when traveling home from today's events. Whether you're driving out of town or across town this holiday season, wearing a seatbelt is your best defense against injury or death in a crash. During the busiest time of travel, prioritize your safety and buckle up. Every seat, every time. And remember, click it or ticket. It's the law. This message brought to you by the North Carolina High School Athletic Association and the Governor's Highway Safety Program.
Have you ever noticed how little things can make a big difference? When your neighbor is out of town, why not pick up their newspaper and put it on their doorstep? How about asking if you can help when you see a person with a disability trying to get out of their car? Or simply smiling when you meet a stranger? It takes so little time, but it works wonders. In North Carolina, we have always taken pride in being kind. Little things do make a difference. Makes you feel better. Makes everyone around you feel better.
This is Adam Gold.
What, a minute 53 into the game? Heat of the moment?
Right.
What kind of heat of the moment is that? We haven't even gotten to simmer yet.
I know. Did someone flip him off in the parking lot? Like, what are we...
Seriously.
The Adam Gold Show.
In the Harry Potter series, there is an item, the Sword of Gryffindor, which legend says has incredible powers, and that which does not kill it will only make it stronger. I'm not sure if Dowell Loggains is goblin made. A matter of fact, I'm positive that he's not. But he did survive a stint with the New York Jets. And now he is the head coach at Appalachian State. I realize, Coach, that's a long way to go for a joke at the expense of the team that I grew up rooting for. But thank you very much for your time. Congratulations.
I did survive New York. I appreciate the introduction, and I'm excited to be on today.
Oh, man. First of all,
how much time did it take you to come up with that?
Would it tell on me that I came up with that in like 15 seconds? I just had to word it.
Yeah, I'm impressed.
I'm a big fan of Harry Potter. The books are better than the movies. I don't know if you're a reader, but I've always thought that when it comes to the book or the movie, there are very few situations where the book isn't significantly better because it can go into greater detail. And the Harry Potter books are just so good.
I haven't read them, but I'm going to take, with your conviction, I'm taking your word for it.
All right. Well, thank you very much. Don't blame me if it doesn't go well. All right. So I'm curious. What a couple of years at Arkansas, last 2 years at South Carolina, but your background is in the National Football League. So what drew you to Boone?
Tradition, history, winning, and it was came out of just go through the process, and like you said, spent 17 years in the National Football League, and went when I left the Jets, I'd been you want to be in a place where you have a chance to win. You have a chance to win. I was kind of, and just the way it went down, I was kind of not burnout on the NFL, but frustrated with you don't get to pick your own players, and there are things that the college game offers you that the NFL doesn't. So you're looking at this thing like, what's next? And had a chance to stay in the NFL if I wanted to at a couple of different places. And right down the road was Penn State, and a good friend James Franklin was the head coach there.
Mm-hmm.
We were together when he was at Vanderbilt. I was with the Titans, so we became good friends and became kind of a mentor to me, and learned a ton of football from him. Watched him operate. I'm like, how does this man win 9 games every year at Vanderbilt? Which is amazing. So I was like, look, every good coach wants to learn from other coaches. So I would spend as much time watching him as I could, and used to go over there and talk to him about recruiting. I was so intrigued. I'd never coached in college with a recruiting model. So he had a job at Penn State, and he offered me a job. So I stayed there for about 4 months. And then I was there, and I'm like, hey, you know what? I really enjoy this. About June, Sam Pittman, who I'd never met in my life, calls me and offers me a job. And I'm like, it's at my alma mater. And he's like, hey, this place needs you. And I'm like, I just took a job with Coach Franklin. Coach Franklin calls me and said, hey, you know what? You want to be a great recruiter. I think you will be a great recruiter. Go prove to the world in the SEC what I already know about you. So I took the job, and I fell in love with the pageantry of college football. And I planned. I was just the offensive coordinator of the New York Jets. Like, I'm thinking, all right, next year I'm going to be coordinating or bit back in the NFL as a quarterback coach, and really enjoyed it and stayed a second year because I enjoyed it so much. And then had a chance to go to South Carolina, and I knew Spencer Rattler was going to be really good, and I wanted a chance to coach him. And he had a great year for us. And then we got this freshman that no one knew who he was, named Lenore Sellers, and he has an unbelievable year. And then all of a sudden, I got a chance to come up here and interview at a place like this with great tradition, great history, and to run a program where the town, the community, the region already know what it takes to win. So that with all that together, it was a no-brainer.
You said that the toughest part of leaving South Carolina was saying goodbye to your quarterback. What made it so? I mean, there are great players everywhere. I'm just curious.
Yeah.
What made it so difficult?
Because it wasn't about him being a great player. That's what everyone thinks. But it's about 2 years ago when I got there, about 10 days before signing day, and he's committed to Syracuse, and South Carolina wasn't recruiting him. And he took a chance on me in 10 days. And he told me, he said, Coach, I came to South Carolina because of you. And I had 10 days to sell him on why he should come there. I had 10 days to sell him on, or whatever it was, 10 days. It was a 2-week period of how we could develop him, all the history we had in the NFL with the quarterbacks. And you go through all that, and he was a kid that didn't care about the recruiting fluff, and he wasn't talking about NIL. He was talking about opportunity and development. And so you go through that, and he had an opportunity to learn behind Spencer. I was really hard on him for a year. He laughs about it now, but I used to throw him out of practice. I used to rip him and trying to get him battlefield hardened for what it takes to play quarterback. And, then this year didn't start off great this year. It was choppy the first couple. We were choppy against ODU, and after the game, he's like, Coach, I was nervous. And I was like, I knew you were going to be nervous. You shouldn't be playing as a redshirt freshman, but you'll get better every week because that's the type of kid you are. And we went through – it wasn't the cleanest first 3 or 4 weeks of the season, and there was doubt in his mind. And to win the way we did the last 6 games of the season, to see him improve the way he improved every week, and we were partners in his development. We were together, and we were tied at the hip because every fan, every critic, they care about the offensive coordinator and the quarterback.
Right.
And we knew that. And we were tied together, and we just kept getting better every week, and credit to him. And so when it was that, they asked me, said, hey, any doubts you have about this place? I said, absolutely not. I said, the only thing I'm scared about is I got to call this kid who I love, and I know how good the player is, but I love the kid, and tell him, like, hey, I'm not going to be there, and I'm going to take this job. And he was great. He understood. He knew about this brand, and of course we still talk to him every day. So that part was hard, and I was very fortunate to spend time coaching Spencer and Lenoris.
Dowell Loggains is joining us here on the Adam Gold Show, new Appalachian State head football coach. I know James Franklin said you're going to be a great recruiter, and I trust that you are. I will say that if I've been to Columbia and I've been to Syracuse, it probably had nothing to do with the fact that there are about 55 days of sun a year in Syracuse, New York. It is like the cloudiest place in America, I believe. They actually told me that I was in a cab coming from the airport to the campus, and the cab driver told me we get about 55 days of sun a year up here at Syracuse. But that's a place also with some great tradition as well. Dowell Loggains joining us here. Your background in the pros, you talk about, you thought you would go back to the pros. In some ways, isn't the pro game coming to you? Isn't it coming to college now? How is it going to work?
We're there. In front of me right now, I've got a collective roster. I've got NIL numbers. I've got roster allocation, money allocation. The role of the head coach in college football now is the general manager of the NFL. And you're responsible for all of that. So you're responsible for, now I look at it like this. The draft is high school recruiting.
Mm-hmm.
The free agency is the transfer portal. Now, we had better rules at that level, and there was a CBA, right. And there was everyone had the same salary cap, and once you signed a contract, you were guaranteed in that contract you couldn't leave and get in a transfer portal. An agent couldn't call your player and start trying to collect them at a different school. So there's still things that we have to work on, but it is very much an NFL model now with roster allocation, money allocation. This is the farm system of the NFL at this point.
Oh, there's no question about it. I've talked about this with former ECU coach Steve Logan, who spent years not only coaching at East Carolina, but also as an assistant coach in the NFL.
Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Oh my God!
49ers. Great coach. Great mind.
You should talk to him. He is he is a lunatic also, by the way.
A brilliant one.
He is a savant. There is no doubt about it. So pick his brain about it. But I'm curious. You say you have all these things in front of you. So I know you're competing in the Sun Belt, and in a way you're competing within the group of five. But App has different plans, if you will. Different hurdles to cross, thresholds to meet. They want 10-win seasons. They want to compete. And now, and I've talked about this with coaches at that level, because there is an automatic inclusion for somebody in the college football playoff, that like the stakes have even risen higher. How do you compete at that level with knowing that everybody in the Power 5 or Power 4 rather is going to be awash in cash pretty much?
Yeah, well, we have an unbelievable tradition here. We have an unbelievable brand, more importantly. We have the best game day atmosphere in college football. And we have an unbelievable history of tradition and winning. We have an unbelievable alumni base. We have a lot to sell here. And we're worried about running our race and no one else, because that's the type of brand we have. It's why you come to a place like App State, is because you don't have to compare yourself to everyone else. We're not going to let anyone define us that way. We're going to play the people we have on the schedule, and we expect to win every game. And that's what the people expect here. Now, obviously, we've hit a bump. That's why I'm here, because it didn't go the way it had been. But with the resources we have, I'm excited about getting this place back to where it should be.
Yeah, it's one of my favorite places in all of college football, and I've been to Happy Valley. You said you were there for 4 months. I don't think I would have lasted very long once you get to October. It's one of the coldest places I've ever been. But So I've been to a lot of really cool places. I was a Maryland grad. It wasn't so, the atmosphere wasn't great there. But Kid Brewer Stadium, the Rock is as good as there is in college football. What's your philosophy on scheduling? I'm just curious. App has always been one to we don't care. We'll go down to College Station and play. They were in Clemson this year and played there. What's your philosophy on that?
It doesn't matter what my philosophy. Doug does our athletic director does such a great job scheduling, and I know we talked about that when in the interview process. He likes to play in NFL stadiums. He likes to go to College Station and beat SEC teams.
Yeah,
he's had North Carolina come to our place, and we're a defensive stop away from winning the shootout against North Carolina. And even when we were getting ready to play Carolina the year before, North Carolina. When I was at South Carolina, I remember watching that game, and I'm like, man, this place is rocking. This is awesome, and they're giving the Tar Heels all they want. I remember watching getting ready for Texas A&M, and I remember App giving them all they wanted. And I'm sitting there thinking, man, what a place, what an environment. And so that's what makes this place special. We look forward to those type of opportunities, and Doug's going to continue to grow our brand, and the only way to be the best is to play the best. So we get excited about those opportunities.
That was I remember the game. I believe, if I'm not mistaken, that App scored 5 fourth-quarter touchdowns.
Yeah, it was awesome. It was just the fact of now, as an offensive coordinator that's getting ready to play North Carolina, I'm like, well, hold on now, guys. We got to score some points because App just lit up the scoreboard. And we're expected to do the same exact thing, so we got a great challenge in front of us.
Yeah, that was some kind of game to watch. It really was.
Awesome.
Just one more thing. I've asked coaches this all the time, and I'm just blown away by it. But when you get to the summer and you're scrimmaging against yourself, who do you root for? Do you root for the offense or the defense?
Ooh, that's a good one.
Thank you.
And as an offensive coach, I hate the defensive guys. I hate they're arrogant. They run around. They got that little new seatbelt thing they do, like your strap. And they do it after every play. And I used to laugh last year, and our defense would do that stuff. And they sack. And I'm like, hold on now. When it's live, you're not getting Lenore Sellers down. Like, whatever, coach, it's a sack. So I was talking trash after the Clemson game to our defense, like, hey, I told you guys that wouldn't have been a sack. So this is before I knew about this one. I'm like, so I don't want to hear in spring ball, hey, Downey sacked, because that's not happening either. But now I think from a big picture standpoint, I think when the defense is always ahead of the offense.
Right.
They should be, and especially in the spring and fall. And you get to know each other so well. I think as a head coach, you're looking at, okay, what are our strengths? What are our weaknesses? How do we put our players in the best situation to be successful? How do we hide some of our weaknesses? So I think it becomes more strategic than it does emotional.
All right, final thing. I probably lied. I know that one of your former quarterbacks, I know him very well. I am curious, what was it like working with Mike Glennon?
Mike Jeezy. It was awesome. So we signed that. It was a hard transition. This is part of like the frustration you get sometimes of the NFL.
Right.
We signed Mike Glennon from Tampa Bay.
Yep.
And he's pretty the big name quarterback in the market on that cycle. And then we trade up in Chicago with a second pick and take Mitchell Trubisky.
Yeah.
So then I'm trying to talk Mike Jeezy off the ledge of, hey, just calm down. Like, I didn't know it was going to happen either. And Mike and I are still good friends to this day. And what he is he's a pro, a great thrower with the football. He's extremely, extremely intelligent.
Mm-hmm.
I'm excited about still connecting with him still. We've exchanged some texts since I've taken the job and when he welcomed me to North Carolina. But what a great guy, great player, great family. And that's why everyone always asks you, hey, why do you coach? It's because of guys like Mike Glennon. And it's because of the relationship that you form. And I'm a better coach because I had the opportunity to play for him. I hope he is a better person and player because he had a chance to play for me.
He is a wonderful guy. I felt bad because he threw out the first pitch at Wrigley Field, and then they went and drafted Mitch Trubisky. It seems like, man, what a waste of a fastball.
You know what? It's a great lesson about life. About hey, there's things we can't control, and sometimes we get put in situations that we can't control. And there are no great victories in life unless you can overcome hard things. And Mike was a pro through the whole process.
Dowell Loggains, App State's next head football coach. Now, the current head football coach, not the next one. You are the one. I appreciate your time, sir. I look forward to catching up as much as we can during the season.
I look forward to it, and I'm sorry about you being a Jets fan.
No longer. I'm recovered.
You've recovered.
I've kicked the habit.
Well, good. Congrats on that, and I appreciate you guys having me, and go App.
That was fun. I enjoyed the conversation with Dowell Loggains, and it's a great place. It's a great place to watch football games. Great place to be a head coach. They demand success, so I wish him luck. I think, I have no. You just don't know. You really don't know. Is it going to work? I hope it does. I had a good time talking to Dowell Loggains. Real quick, looking ahead next week, Blake Harrell. I know you're going to talk to Blake Harrell on Friday on Next Up. But on this program, next Tuesday, Blake Harrell and Dave Doran, not at the same time, but we'll have both the
that would be fun, though.
ECU and the NC State head coach. They're about to face each other in the Military Bowl. But we'll talk. I want to ask Dave Doran if it really is in his contract that he can't wear blue.
It would not surprise me.
I'm not going to lie. That was the impetus for the call. I mean, I want to talk to him anyway, but that was the impetus for the call. So we'll do that next week. Real quick, we only have a minute here. Bill Belichick, we're in a holding pattern. We're waiting on the last thing we heard on Inside Carolina, that the deal was being finalized to make Bill Belichick the next head coach at the University of North Carolina. So there is that. Duke got a quarterback out of the transfer portal, arguably the number one quarterback available, Darian Mensah from Tulane. And the Carolina Hurricanes were called Tyson Jost from Chicago in the American Hockey League. Jack Drury is going to be out for an indefinite period of time with an upper body injury. So Tyson Jost will be the guy who's going to play center because Jack Drury's out of the lineup. And boy, does this provide an opportunity for Jesperi Kotkaniemi. Son, the job is yours. Now what do you do with it? Graham, well done as always. We'll see everybody tomorrow on The Adam Gold Show.